Part 208. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 2072. At noon the next day, Xiao Wu called Zhang Xiangbei. Wu Huan and Zhou Ruyi were also in Zhang Xiangbei's office. The three of them were discussing matters in Shanghai. When the Shanghai company was preparing to establish, Zhou Ruyi participated in the entire preparation work. The situation there was very familiar, and Zhang Xiangbei specially called her over. Seeing Xiao Wu's phone call, Zhang Xiangbei knew that Xiao Wu must tell him about the investigation he and Huo were in Shanghai. Zhang Xiangbei told Xiao Wu that Wu Huan and Zhou Ruyi are also here. "What's the matter?" "You say, master." Zhang Xiangbei pressed the speakerphone button and put the phone on the coffee table. Xiao Wu told them that things in Shanghai have been clarified. Ding Mianli is indeed not alone. Han Song, the general manager of the customer service center of the Shanghai branch, is with him. "These guys are so bold and want to eat while eating the food in our pot," he was humming, "smashing our pot." "What's wrong, master?" Zhang Xiangbei asked. Many of the major residential real estate and unit clients signed agreements with Daily Fresh, which was signed by Han Song, who brought people from Daily Fresh. Xiao Wu said to them, "Also, they know that our relationship with Jinxio Service is unusual. For the communities managed by Jinxio Service, do not go through the property management, go directly to the owners committee." It is also Ding who helps Daily Fresh came up with the idea. "These bastards," Wu Huan cursed upon hearing this. "Master, do you have any evidence?" Zhang Xiangbei asked. "Of course there is. We visited the customer and the customer confirmed it. Also, this guy himself confessed honestly. He told everything he and Ding Mian tried to do," Xiao Wu said. "So honest?" Zhang Xiangbei asked. "This guy is a fellow of the second-rate guy. He was first introduced by the second-rate dealer. Yesterday, the second-rate fellow got angry and beat him up. If he didn't say anything, he wouldn't be able to go back to his family or the village. In their village, they were all given to the vegetable farmer who supplies our vegetables is also poaching the people in their village. Also, Ding Mi Yuli's assistant has been keeping an eye on them. When he saw us coming to understand this matter, he provided a lot of evidence." "What evidence?" Wu Huan asked. "People from the head hunting company invited them to dinner and to KTV. There were photos and videos, and people from Daily Fresh were also present," Xiao Wu said. "It's so outrageous," Zhou Ruyi cursed. "What should I do?" Wu Huan asked Zhang Xiangbei. "What else can I do? Of course I'll kick them and tell them to get out. If that bastard Ding Mianli were here, I'd give him a slap right now," Zhou Ruyi scolded angrily. Zhang Xiangbei was silent and did not say anything immediately. "The second-rate guy has a suggestion," Xiao Wu said. Zhang Xiangbei asked, "What suggestions?" Xiao Wu said, "This Han Song must be fired immediately. If he keeps it, the customer center of the entire branch will definitely be in chaos. Many customers are watching our jokes now. When Huo and I went there, they told us that they had seen people eating the food inside and outside, but they had never seen people eating the food inside and outside like this. After we open this place, we can't let him out. If he is released at this time, he will definitely continue to cause trouble, and make a lot of trouble." The second cargo said, "Hand him over," and he arranged for this guy to work as a loader at the logistics base. "On the one hand, I watched him, and on the one hand, I also asked him to undergo labor reform." Zhang Xiangbei looked at Wu Huan and said to Xiao Wu, "Okay, let's do it like this. Wu Huan will ask the Human Resources Department to come up with the formalities later. Also, master, have you found the right person?" "Ma Jian can do it," Xiao Wu said. "We have also understood that he has nothing to do with Ding Mianli and the others. On the contrary, Ding Mianli has been giving him little shoes to wear. It's just that Ma Jian is so popular that he doesn't want to mess with him." "It's awesome," but the people below will cause trouble, and Ding Mian can't do anything about it. Ma Jian is the workshop director of their Shanghai branch. Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan have met him a few times and were not very impressed. He doesn't talk much and is not the kind of person who would express anything in front of you. I also think Ma Jian can do it, Zhou Ruyi said. Zhou Ruyi helped to prepare for the establishment of the Shanghai branch. At that time, after the layout of Hangzhou was completed, Zhou Ruyi took people to Shanghai to expand the market. She was very familiar with the personnel of the Shanghai branch, including Ma Jian, whom she personally recruited. Come in. How is his communication skills? Zhang Xiangbei asked. I remember that he doesn't seem to talk much. When you are the general manager of a branch, you can't communicate well. No, he just doesn't like talking to you. You are the boss. Ma Jian is a bit arrogant and looks down on people who flatter and fawn over. In front of other people, he should not be too good at talking. He speaks in a clear and logical manner. Even those who wash vegetables in the workshop, all the middle-aged women listen to him, Zhou Ruyi said. Xiao Wu agreed. He said, yes, this person is like this. Zhang Xiangbei nodded. That's okay. It doesn't matter if he doesn't flatter me or scold me, as long as he can lead the team well. Zhang Xiangbei thought for a moment and said, that's it? We are going to appoint him as the deputy general manager of the Shanghai branch. The general manager will still be Ding Malai. What, this bastard still exists? Zhou Ruyi opened her eyes wide. Zhang Xiangbei said, I don't want to stay, but there is no way. If we fire him, the prohibitive clauses in the non-compete agreement will also be invalid. He can just go to Daily Fresh, and we will give Daily Fresh. Japan gave him a big gift and kept him. Even if he was transferred to another position, he would still act bad. Only if he stayed at his original position in Shanghai would he be honest. Of course, this alone is not enough. We also need to cut off his escape route and give him a clear signal at the same time. Zhang Xiangbei and Xiao Wu said, Master, I may have to work hard for you. Stay in Shanghai for a while and survive the first battle first. Xiao Wu said, yes, Shanghai is unstable and I don't feel comfortable going back. Zhang Xiangbei said, you asked Ma Jian to come to Hangzhou today. After Wu Huan and I communicated with him, if possible, we will appoint him as the executive deputy general manager of the Shanghai branch. This is our fresh delivery day. Everyone knows what the number one deputy general manager means, and Ding Mianli also knows it. In this way, you are there, master, at the top, and Ma Jian is at the bottom, and Ding Mianli is the general manager. We are spending so much money to raise a white-eyed wolf for nothing, Zhou Ruyi scolded. Zhang Xiangbei said with a smile, it's better to keep a tiger if you don't care. It's better than letting a tiger out. Besides, now that the enemy is facing us, it's not suitable for large-scale mobilization of personnel anywhere. That will make the people below panic. I agree with Mr. Zhang's opinion, Wu Huan said. If we want to open it, we should wait until this most critical period has passed. Put him up first. Now, it is more suitable to put him somewhere else. It is better to put him in his original position. There is General Wu at the top and Ma Jian at the bottom. We were not dealing with him in the first place, but Han Song was fired again, and Ding Mianli knew it himself, and we know what he did. Also, give his assistant a raise in rank and salary, Zhang Xiangbei said. Ding Mianli is not allowed to fire him, nor is he allowed to be transferred. If Ding Mianli can be the general manager for a day, he must always be him assistant. Wu Huan laughed and said, this move doesn't seem to be very harmful, but it is extremely insulting. Zhang Xiangbei also smiled and said, I mainly want Ding Mianli to understand that he is right under our noses and he doesn't dare to be dishonest. Okay, then I'll go to Shanghai too, Zhou Ruyi said. Zhang Xiangbei asked in confusion, why are you going to Shanghai? Han Song has been fired. Do you now have a candidate for the general manager of the Shanghai Customer Center? There is going to be a war soon. There are so many customers that need maintenance. Are you going to leave the customer center without a leader? No matter how talented Ma Jian is, he can manage the workshop. Logistics and distribution are okay, but if not, there is Mr. Wu, but he has never dealt with a customer for a day. I am going to be the general manager of the customer center of the Shanghai branch. I am familiar with the Shanghai market. I have developed those big customers, so they will definitely give me face. Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan listened and felt that everything Zhou Ruyi said made sense. Indeed, at this time, the customer center is their most critical department. After the launch of Daily Fresh, they were the most impacted and under the greatest pressure. Definitely customer-centric. The Shanghai market was originally opened by Zhou Ruyi. It is most suitable for her to serve as the general manager of the customer center at this time, and she will definitely be able to stabilize the situation. But if you, a CMO of the head office, become the general manager of the customer center of a branch, you will be demoted several levels in a row, Wu Huan and Zhou Ruyi said. If you need anything that can't be reduced, you can just ask me to do sanitation. That's it? Transfer me to Shanghai. If Shanghai doesn't hold on, I'll come and see you, Zhou Ruyi said. Zhang Xiangbei thought for a moment and said to Wu Huan. That's it? Zhou Ruyi is still the CMO of the head office. Let her also serve as the general manager of the customer center of the Shanghai branch. Zhou Ruyi, after you go to Shanghai, you have another task, which is to bring out a general manager of the customer center as soon as possible. Zhou Ruyi said yes. She stood up and said to Wu Huan and Zhang Xiangbei. Then I will set off now. When, who fired Han Song, and appointed me concurrently as the general manager of the Shanghai customer center, will wait until I arrive in Shanghai. I will organize a meeting for the people in the customer center when I arrive. Wu Huan and Zhang Xiangbei agreed. Zhou Ruyi walked out, and Xiao Wu said. Then I'll make arrangements for Ma Jian to leave immediately. Master, please send over all the evidence you have of Ding Mianli and Han Song's collusion with the head hunting company and people from Daily Fresh, Zhang Xiangbei said to Xiao Wu. Xiao Wu said yes. There were only two people left in the office, Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan. Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan said. This alone is not enough. We need to cut off Ding Mianli's escape route, and also let Daily Fresh stop poaching us. I don't know if there is anyone in the company who is as obsessed with Daily Fresh as Ding Mianli. I feel like there are still people we are targeting, and we have to find a way to make these people give up. Wu Huan nodded. She also agreed with Zhang Xiangbei's judgment. Judging from the fact that Ding Mianli immediately knew what meeting they were having in the conference room yesterday, there were other people in the company besides Han Song. Han Song did not have control over yesterday's meeting. The person who could inform Ding Mianli about the situation must be one of the more than 30 people who attended the meeting online and offline yesterday. There is no way to tell that he or she and Ding Mianli are in the same group, but at least it can be concluded that his or her relationship with Ding Mianli must be unusual. Otherwise, even a fool would know that Ding Mianli arrived in Hangzhou and did not let him attend the meeting. He must have been excluded from this meeting. Call and ask Lawyer Yu to come over, Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan said. Thank you for the reward of 2 fishes. Thank you for your monthly passes to Zhengzi, Captain Jim, Mid-Autumn Festival Simingyu, Galaxy, Zipanjiang 1, Wisdom. J. Yuengzi, and Flat Tire Mars Rover. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 2073. More than an hour later, Lawyer Yu rushed over from his office in the city, and Xiao Wu had already passed along the relevant evidence. Zhang Xiangbei told Lawyer Yu about the matter and showed him the relevant evidence. After reading it, Lawyer Yu told them that if these two people leave without saying goodbye, they will definitely violate the non-compete agreement. Of course, they have not left yet, and the non-competition agreement is between you and Ding Mianli. The relationship between them does not involve Daily Fresh. If my guess is correct, pursuing Ding as an individual is not your entire purpose, is it, lawyer? You ask Zhang Xiangbei. Zhang Xiangbei is right, we want to put an end to all this mess at once without affecting our own company. Lawyer Yu said, in that case, there is already evidence that they are with the headhunting company and people from Daily Fresh. This evidence is enough to connect the three parties together and form a chain of interests. Under the inducement of the other party, Ding went behind the company's back and violated his own professional ethics, leaking the company's business secrets and customer information. At the same time, he also helped competing companies to carry out the same type of business as our company, which has objectively caused huge losses to our company. Although we don't know if there were any monetary transactions between them, they went to KTV and hotels to eat, and more than once. By the way, based on this, how about we report the case to the Public Security Agency and say that they have been suspected of commercial bribery? Is the sentencing standard sufficient? Wu Huan asked. Also, does eating and going to KTV count? Of course it counts. The crime of commercial bribery refers to accepting property from the other party. Of course, eating and entertainment are also within this range. The sentencing standard is 10,000 yuan for an individual and 200,000 yuan for a unit. Based on the number of times they go, 10,000 yuan, the amount must have exceeded 1,000 yuan. As for whether it was an individual's contribution or an employer's, that is none of our business. Let the police investigate, lawyer Yu said. I think it's okay. What do you think, Mr. Zhang? Wu Huan asked Zhang Xiangbei. What had Zhang Xiangbei been thinking about? Wu Huan asked him, and he said, I think sometimes the muzzle of the gun is more powerful than the bullet. Once the bullet is fired, it may miss, and the other party will immediately cancel the alarm. But if the muzzle of the gun is kept pointed at him, even if it is an empty gun, it will. The other party was frightened and obeyed obediently. Wu Huan and lawyer Yu both looked at Zhang Xiangbei, wondering what his meaningless words meant. When Zhang Xiangbei saw both of them looking at him, he continued. Don't underestimate the power of Dabao in Hangzhou. Think about it, let's go report the case. When the police see this case involving Dabao.com, they will definitely be very cautious. After investigating for a long time, I don't know if the case can be filed in the end. If it doesn't reach according to the standards for filing a case, the matter will be over once a notice of refusal is given. Even if the case is filed, it will probably be 1 or 2 months later. By then, they may have already done what they need to do, and the damage to us will have already occurred. Also, even if the case can be filed, it is not a big crime in itself. In order to protect the big customer of Dabao, the headhunting company will definitely take over the matter and admit that the money for the hiring is all paid by them, and Daily Fresh it has nothing to do with it. They came to take the blame and pluck Daily Fresh clean. We still haven't achieved our goal. What does it have to do with us whether the headhunting company dies or not? Lawyer Yu nodded, feeling that what Zhang Xiangbei said made sense. This situation would indeed happen. Even if something happened, there was a high probability that the headhunting company would shoulder the responsibility. Zhang Xiangbei said, there is also a worst-case scenario, that is, they have already broken up with each other, and they don't care about social opinions or not. They are fighting a legal battle with us while breaking the rules and doing whatever they can. Treat us obscenely. At that time, there will be a cesspool in front of us. We have no choice but to jump down and fight them. In the end, both sides will stink. Don't overestimate the IQ and sense of right and wrong of the people who eat melons. Many times, they think who is right based on who is louder. The most extreme thing is that when our two families went into battle naked and fought fiercely, one fisherman got the benefit. A third party took advantage of the situation. Wu Huan understood who the third party Zhang Xiangbei was talking about and who the fisherman was. If the third party did not take the opportunity to act at this time, he would be a fool. "Mr. Zhang, what do you mean, lawyer?" Yu asked. "That's what I said before," Zhang Xiangbei said. Lawyer Yu was stunned for a moment, then suddenly realized, he said. "I understand, you are saying that we hide our trump cards, but raise our guns and aim them at them so that they can't see our trump cards clearly and become afraid. In this way, they will stop all actions involving us. Otherwise, they don't know how big the wave will be in the end, right?" Zhang Xiangbei nodded. Lawyer Yu took out his laptop and said to Zhang Xiangbei, "I'll draft a lawyer's letter right away and send it to them." Zhang Xiangbei said, "Yes, thank you for your hard work." Wu Huan understood what Zhang Xiangbei said, that the muzzle of a gun is more powerful than a bullet. If they only warned that Daily Fresh was suspected of commercial bribery, they reserved the right to report the case. So for the other party, they know exactly what they have done, and they will definitely panic when they receive this lawyer's letter. According to Wu Huan's understanding of Lao Ma and De Bao, once something like this happens, they will immediately understand that if it breaks out, it will definitely be a big scandal. They will not allow such a thing to happen, and will stop it in time, regardless of digging. Whether Ding Mianli's matter was done by a headhunting company or by someone below, Lao Ma would ask them to stop it. In fact, all plans to poach people from Zaijiansua will be suspended. Not only will they not poach people, but in order to avoid losing people, even if someone from Zaijiansua takes the initiative to embrace them, they will refuse. Compared with the entire Dacha Bayo Bayo, come on, Daily Fresh is nothing. They will not risk the reputation of Baobao.com. If that's the case, Zhang Xiangbei is right, it has really cut off Ding Mianli's escape route, and Daily Fresh will never want them again. Thinking of this, Wu Huan looked at Zhang Xiangbei and laughed. Lawyer Yu quickly wrote the lawyer's letter and showed it to Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan. This lawyer's letter was very well written. It included examples of a certain party and going to KTV, and it was written by everyone who went there at the time and place. It's so clear that people know at a glance that they have conclusive evidence. The writing in other places is ambiguous, making people think that the situation is serious, and at the same time, they also think that they have more evidence. Finally, I wrote that out of consideration for the fact that we are all colleagues and have old personal friendships, we ask the other party to stop all similar behaviors. Otherwise, we reserve the right to take further actions, including reporting the case to the Public Security Agency and releasing relevant evidence to the public. It means that we have been merciful. It is mainly because of our old personal friendship that we have not broken up with you. The other party can pay more attention to the old personal friendship. It can be said that Wu Huan misses the old friendship, and it can be said that Zheng Huiyang came to see you personally. After Zhang Xiangbei, it can be said that Zhang Chen and Zheng Huiyang are friends with teacher Ma, and so on. Zhang Xiangbei said, "Yes, lawyer Yu, did you get inspired or something? Your pen is so wonderful." Lawyer Yu said, "I was very excited when I thought about fighting with Bayo Bayo." I understand. If that happens, you can become famous in one battle," Zhang Xiangbei said, and Lawyer Yu laughed. Lawyer Yu, please make some changes here," Zhang Xiangbei said. "Where?" Zhang Xiangbei said, "Change Daily Fresh to Dobayo.com, and do not send the lawyer's letter to Daily Fresh, but to Dobayo." "Haha, okay, I understand, of course I have to pick the biggest watermelon." Lawyer Yu smiled and started to change it. After the changes were made, Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan had a look at it to see if there was anything that needed to be changed. They looked it over and both said it was gone and it was perfect. "Okay, I'll rush back to the office right away to print and stamp them, and try to send these 2 express letters before I get off work, so they can receive them tomorrow." Lawyer Yu said. Zhang Xiangbei agreed, "Thank you for your hard work." Lawyer Yu left in a hurry, and Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan were left in the office. Wu Huan and Zhang Xiangbei said, At this moment, Ding Mianli cried and couldn't find his grave. After receiving the lawyer's letter, the head hunting company would probably call him immediately, tell him the matter, and then block his phone number. Ding Mianli became no one wanted. Orphaned. I have shown mercy because of his past merits, Zhang Xiangbei said. Indeed, Wu Huan nodded. Some people just don't know how high the sky is. This is also for other people to see. Zhang Xiangbei said that Wu Huan said yes, at least to the person who tried his best to inform Ding. Ding Mianli waited in the hotel room for a whole day but did not receive a call from Zhang Xiangbei. In the evening, he received a call from Han Song, saying that the matter had been exposed and that he had been fired from Zaixianshu. Both the general and Zhou Ruyi have arrived in Shanghai. Ding Mianli's heart skipped a beat, and his face instantly turned pale, knowing that it would be his turn next. Mr. Ding, you said you would take me to Daily Fresh. You must not go back on your word. When will we go there? Han Song called on the phone. Ding Mianli casually said okay, I'll call right away. After hanging up Han Song, Ding Mianli really wanted to call the head hunting company right away, but hesitated when he found the number. He thought he couldn't tell them about it yet, and he had to hold on. If they knew that the matter was exposed, Han Song and himself have been expelled from Zaixianshu, and he has nowhere to go. In that case, the head hunter will definitely change his face. Maybe they would have to negotiate terms with him in turn. In their eyes, he had no leverage at all. Thinking of this, Ding Mianli immediately packed his luggage, went downstairs to check out the room, and decided to change to a hotel. He was planning to go missing in Hangzhou. Zhang Xiangbei couldn't find him even when he went to the hotel. No matter how many times Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan called him, he wouldn't answer the phone. As long as he didn't answer the phone and they didn't face him face to face and listen to his opinions, the matter would continue to be dragged on. Zaixian delivery. The decision to expel him will not be released for at least the next few days. The head hunting company would call him every day to ask about his resignation. When the head hunting company called him again, he told them that he had communicated with Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan and they agreed to his resignation. Ding Mianli thought that he could even make up a reason and tell the head hunting company that Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan begged him that in order to stabilize other people and not shake the morale of the army, they would tell the public that the company had fired him, so that he could immediately he agreed to resign. In this way, even if the decision to fire him comes out and the matter spreads out, the head hunting company and Daily News will see it here and think that this is Zhou Yu's trick and a fake show, making them think that he can do it at any time. You can also go back and deliver fresh food, and you will still have chips. Ding Mianli knew that Daily Fresh was in a hurry, and they were waiting for a vacant position. They kept urging him to go there, waiting for him to take over as the vice president of the head office and command his subordinates. The battle in Shanghai would begin on the 15th. Anyway, I've already arrived in Hangzhou, so I'll just go over here and report in. Ding Mianli thought happily. Thank you to Fisherman of the Pier, Jinwu Lanji, Book Friends 201906091140429788, and Book Friends 13021415330425 for your monthly votes. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 2074. Ding waited hard, but the call he was waiting for did not come. He changed from the Hyatt Regency Hotel by the West Lake to another hotel by the West Lake, the Sofitel Hotel. After putting his luggage in the room, Ding Mianli walked to Hefang Street without driving. The sun had set, but the sky was still bright. Ding Mianli walked to Hefang Street and was covered in stinky sweat. At this time, Hefang Street there weren't many people in the square street yet. Ding Mianli took a stroll and suddenly lost interest. Nowadays, there are too many antique streets like this all over the country. They all seem to be designed by a designer. From the layout to the architectural style, they are all the same. Ding Mianli feels that this Hefang Street is similar to Shantang Street and Suzhou Street. There is not much difference between Wuhan and Zhoushuang. If you put all these scenic spots together, there will be no sense of inconsistency at all. The difference is that in those places, at least there are rivers. The name of Hefang Street has the word river in its name, but there is no river in sight. Ding reluctantly walked to Jiayin Street next door. There were rows on both sides of the street here, and there were restaurants one after another. Ding reluctantly chose the one with the smallest family, went up to the second floor, and chose a table by the window to sit down. I ordered a pot of tea and ordered the food. I also specifically asked the waiter to tell her that the food would be served slowly. "Sir, are you still waiting for your friend?" The waiter felt a little strange. He didn't ask him just now, and he said he was alone. "I won't wait for my friend," Ding said with all his strength. "I'm not hungry. Let's wait for half an hour." The waiter agreed and left. It's not that Ding Mianli isn't hungry, but he doesn't want to sweat profusely and eat in a hurry like a loader. He wants to blow on the air conditioner, drink tea, and wait until the sweat on his body is gone, then he can enjoy wine and delicious food. Discretionary. Ding Mianli forgot how many years ago he was sweating profusely and eating ravenously. He also felt from the bottom of his heart that now should be the most relaxed time for him. In fact, he had already left Zaixiangxian, but he did not go to Daily Fresh and is now an unemployed young man. Ding Mian tried to think of this and laughed, smiling a little proudly. He knew that this kind of life would not last for a few days. No one would allow him, Mr. Ding, to do nothing like this. Maybe tomorrow, or the day after tomorrow at the latest, he would have to go to every day. Japanese Fresh reports for duty, and then begins the day of being interrupted by phone calls from his subordinates at any time of the year, 24 hours a day. He should cherish and enjoy this gap. Ding Mianli picked up the phone and looked at it. There was not a single missed call. The headhunter didn't call him. Ding Mianli was not in a hurry. They only talked on the phone in the afternoon, when he was driving from Shanghai to Hangzhou. Wait a minute and say maybe just when he starts to have a drink, their call will come and ask about his communication with Zhang Xiangbei. At that time, he could tell them that he had already thought up the rhetoric. Ding Mianli had never called the headhunting company. He was always waiting for them to call. Whether he called or not was a gesture. That one has a low posture, and the one who answers the phone has a high posture. Ding Mianli has always been the one who answers the phone, and he doesn't want to change. Changing a lot of times means that I have a lot to say, which is inconvenient to say, and I can't mention many conditions. In a word, I can't take it. Ding Mianli feels that the word taking it is very vivid, isn't it? You have to do it. Only when you become the leader in a certain industry can you be qualified to take the lead. Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan didn't call him either. Ding Mianli felt a little strange, but he thought it was normal. The news that he was going to Daily Fresh must have shocked them. They were probably busy dealing with his dumping now. The mess he had caused them could not be taken care of for the time being. There are no calls from those subordinates in the Shanghai company, which just means that his position has been taken over and a containment and investigation is underway. Now everyone in the company is in danger, not to mention that no one will call him. Even if he calls, the person on the other end of the phone will be startled and then press the phone. Thinking of this, Ding managed to smile again. He put down his phone and pointed the screen down, meaning that he didn't care about it anymore and wanted to have a good drink. Ding reluctantly picked up the teacup, sipped the tea one mouthful at a time, and turned his attention to the window. The sky outside has darkened, and the neon light boxes of the restaurants on both sides of Jiayin Street have also lit up. There are more red lanterns, making the whole street red. It seems that like these antique streets, all the delicious food in the country. A street is also very similar. Standing at the intersection and looking in, people will always mistakenly think that this is a red light district. Ding Mianli looked at the men and women walking into the hotel opposite. Under the colorful lights, their faces became blurred. There are more and more guests on the second floor here. People are coming up the stairs shouting and screaming, and they disperse to tables one after another. Ding Mianli's food also started to be served. Compared with the surrounding tables filled with friends, he was the only one at his table, which looked a bit deserted and special. Ding reluctantly reached out and picked up the mobile phone on the table, turned it over and looked, but there was still no call. Although the mobile phone was right in front of him and he would hear it when a call came, he would still go and check it subconsciously. Ding reluctantly put his phone upside down on the table, asked the waiter to open a bottle of rice wine, and started eating and drinking. Ding tried his best to eat and drink, but basically kept his eyes outside the window. He didn't want to look at the people at the tables in front of him and behind him, which would make people feel a little lonely. He would rather look at the little girl selling roses on the street below, chasing a group of people. A little girl saw two men walking together and went to sell roses to them. The two men were stunned for a moment, and then started laughing. "You pushed me, I pushed you," and they were talking to the little girl. They must be encouraging the little girl to buy it for them, and the little girl also talked to the little girl. This one was chatting, and the other one was chatting. In the end, neither of them bought anything and left with a smile. The little girl stood there, looking at their backs with some disappointment. Ding reluctantly looked at it and shook his head. While eating and drinking, Ding Mianli would subconsciously pick up his phone to look at it from time to time, and then put it down again. No one was looking for him. Ding Mianli looked at his phone more and more frequently. With this subconscious action, his leisurely demeanor, the mood in Zizé seemed to be draining away little by little, and people became a little irritable. The dishes chewed in the mouth became tasteless. He reached out and pushing the half-full bottle of wine away from him, as if there was someone sitting across from him. He was using this action to express to the other person that he wouldn't drink anymore. Ding Mianli raised his hand to the waiter, who came over. Ding Mianli told her to pay the bill, and at the same time picked up his phone and looked at it again. Ding Mianli walked to the end of Jiayin Street, and a CAO travel online car-hailing car parked in front of him. Two girls got out of the car. Ding Mianli got into the car. The driver looked at him and said, "Sir, you made the wrong order." "I haven't taken the order yet." "Go to Sofitel, I'll give you 100, Ding said reluctantly. "The Sofitel on West Lake Avenue," the other party asked, thinking to himself, "What a lunatic. It only takes 10 minutes to walk there, and the taxi fare is only the same." Ding tried his best to say it was right, but the other party stopped making any noise, started the car and left. Ding reluctantly entered the room, took off his clothes and walked to the bed. He picked up the phone and looked at it. There was no phone. He put the phone on the bedside table and turned around and entered the bathroom. After taking a bath, Ding Mianli wiped his body and hair with a bath towel, walked to the cabinet at the door, opened the cabinet door, took out the hanging nightgown, threw the bath towel on the carpet, put on the bathrobe, and walked to in front of the bedside table. I picked up my phone and looked at it, but there was still no call. He fell down on the bed, leaned against the bedside, picked up his phone again, and opened WeChat. No one contacted him on WeChat. Ding reluctantly threw his phone on the bed, took the TV remote control from the bedside table, and checked all the Chinese and English channels, but there was no program he wanted to watch. "It's so humming closed," Ding reluctantly cursed. Ding Mianli picked up the phone, looked at it and put it down. Then he took the service manual on the bedside table and flipped through the pages. He saw the phone number of the sauna center. Ding Mianli leaned back, sat up a little, and then reached out. He took the phone on the bedside table and dialed. "Hello, Sofitel Sauna Center, how can I serve you?" A boy's voice came from the phone. "Is there a little girl who can come into the room and serve?" Ding asked reluctantly. The other party was stunned for a moment, then understood, and Ding managed to say, "I'm sorry, sir, we don't have this service here." Before the other party could finish what he said, Ding reluctantly hung up the phone and cursed. "What a shabby hotel, it's a 5-star hotel, and there's not even a lady in it." Ding Mianli fell down on the bed again, picked up his phone and looked at it. The screen was still silent. Ding Mianli couldn't help it anymore and called Han Song. Han Song answered his call immediately. Han Song said with a tearful voice, "Mr. Ding, I'm sorry, I can't go to Daily Fresh with you." "What? The man named Wu came to talk to you and kept you?" Ding asked reluctantly. "No, I want to go to that idiot," Han Song said. Why did you go to his place?" I'll go, he asked me to work as a loader at his place." Han Song almost cried as he said this. Ding Mianli cursed, "He is your father, you will do whatever he asks you to do." "He is not my father, but if I don't go, my father will come to Shanghai and break my legs. The people in our village will also break my father's legs. There is nothing I can do, Mr. Ding," Han Song said. Ding Mian pressed hard and hung up the phone. He tossed the phone onto the carpet beside the bed. At almost 11 o'clock in the evening, the phone rang on the carpet. Ding managed to stand up from the bed, rushed over to pick up the phone, and looked at it. It was not a headhunter, Zhang Xiangbei or Wu Huan, but his daughter. "Friend." Ding Mianli didn't answer it. He threw the phone back on the carpet and kicked it with his foot. Ding Mianli was in a terrible mood. He didn't want to hear anyone nagging him anymore, especially his girlfriend. This night, Ding Mianli tossed and turned and couldn't sleep well. Finally, he saw that it was getting bright outside. Ding Mianli went downstairs wearing the hotel's nightgown and slippers, walked out of the hotel door, crossed the Nanshan Road in front of him, and arrived at the West Lake opposite. The West Lake was full of people who got up in the morning to do morning exercises, and no one even sat on the chairs that needed to be grabbed at night. Ding reluctantly sat down and stared blankly at the foggy West Lake in front of him. "Thank you for the reward of 2 fishes. Thank you Lulu 6717P11, Mr. SGN, your die, Yuingzi, Bolank, books are a pack of medicine, and book friends 201811301053059444 for your monthly votes. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone." The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Niang. Chapter 2075. At around 9 o'clock in the morning the next day, Mr. Fang from the headhunting company finally called Ding Miulai. Ding Miulai held the phone in his hand and his heart was beating wildly. He tried his best to control it and calmed himself down. The other party asked Ding Miulai, "How is the communication with Zexi and Shui?" "It's done." Mr. Zhang and Mr. Wu agreed. "I have gone through the resignation procedures." "Great," the other party shouted. "Just up ahead, the Daily Fresh guy was still urging me, asking you when you could come over." Ding Mianli then told the other party the rhetoric he had prepared, and the other party laughed and said, "Never mind him, as long as he's not being held captive by them." Ding Mianli also laughed, and said, "Yes, I think so too. If this matter spreads, it will not look good in terms of face, but face is worth a few dollars." "Okay, Mr. Ding, I'll contact Daily Fresh right away. By the way, you're in Hangzhou now, right? Can you report there in the afternoon?" the other party asked. Ding reluctantly said yes, I was at the Sofitel Hotel. "Okay, Mr. Ding, please wait for my call," the other party said. After hanging up the phone, Ding Mianli let out a long breath, slammed his hands on the bed twice, turned over and fell asleep immediately. He didn't sleep much all night, he was really too sleepy. When the ringing of the phone on the bedside table woke him up, Ding Mianli reached out to pick it up. It was a call from the reception desk below, asking if he would like to continue his stay. Ding Mianli was confused and said he would talk about it later. Putting down the phone, Ding Mianli picked up the mobile phone on the bedside table. The phone showed 15 missed calls and the time was already 11:35. Ding Mianli screamed in his heart, "Oh no, 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 the headhunting company has beaten him." So many phone calls didn't wake him up, and he fell asleep by himself. Only then did Ding Mianli remember that his girlfriend kept calling him last night. He couldn't get enough of it. He muted his phone but hadn't turned it back. When Mr. Fang of the headhunting company called him in the morning, he was staring blankly. I looked at the phone screen and picked up the phone number when I saw it. After answering, the ringing mode of the phone still did not change. Damn it, Ding Mian cursed himself. Ding Mianli quickly opened the phone and found that the 15 missed calls were all from his girlfriend, and none of them were from headhunting companies. Ding Mianli could hardly believe his eyes. He scrolled up and down several times. Convinced that they were really calls from his girlfriend, he opened the call records and saw that the only call between him and Mr. Fang of the headhunting company was around 9 o'clock in the morning. Ding reluctantly wondered, what's going on? What Ding Mianli didn't know was that the boss of the headhunting company had finished talking to him on the phone in the morning, and then dialed the HR number of Daily Fresh. While they were talking, a courier came over from the front desk, and the boss gestured with his hand. He motioned to the front desk to help open it, and when he opened it, the boss saw the lawyer's letter. The boss's head buzzed and he quickly said to the other end of the phone, "Wait, I'll call you later." At about the same time, the general manager of Daily Fresh received a call from the HR of the head office, and then received a call from Zheng Huiyang. As soon as the call came through, Zheng Huiyang scolded him. The HR of Dabao then called Wu Huan and told her that we received your lawyer's letter. Mr. Wu, we were still confused. After getting to know each other, we realized that this was all a misunderstanding. Mr. Wu, we really don't know at all. It's all the work of the headhunting company. If we knew, they would actually go to your Mr. Wu to recruit people. Mr. Wu, why would I call you first, even if it was of a personal nature, a friendly reminder? Then, Zhang Xiangbei received a call from Zheng Huiyang and told him that this was a misunderstanding. Bai Bei, think about it, if you really do this, how will I see you and your father in the future? Bai Bei, I told you that your father is the benefactor of Lao Wan, and even if our boss knew about it, he would not allow it. When he was doing China Yellow Pages, one of your customers was your father. Half Acre Tian is also the first clothing store of our Dabao.com. The boss and your father are friends. Zhang Xiangbei said, "Aunt Huiyang, it's just a misunderstanding. I think we can be competitive, but there is no need to be enemies." Of course, Bai Bei, I will never allow such a thing to happen. Also, although we have daily fresh food here, our door is always open to your home fresh food delivery service. I used to work with you. What you said is still valid, Bai Bei, please think about it carefully, Zheng Huiyang and Zhang Xiangbei said. Ding Mianli walked around the room, holding his mobile phone in his hand. He looked at it from time to time. The ringtone of his mobile phone had been set back, but he sent his girlfriend a WeChat message saying I'm in Hangzhou, talking about important things. Finally, he temporarily blocked her. Otherwise, he would know that depending on her temper, he would not care about your important matters and bombarded her with phone calls one after another. Ding Mianli was worried that if he was on the phone with the headhunting company, her phone would continue to harass him at an inappropriate time. Ding walked over and over again. Not only did he not calm down, but he became more and more irritable. The phone on the bedside table suddenly rang, startling him. He walked over and picked up the phone. It was still the front desk and asked, does he want to renew his apartment? Ding Mianli was furious and shouted at the phone, I know, why are you urging me? Go to hell. There was silence on the other end of the phone for a while, and then he continued, Sir, I'm sorry, it's already past 12 o'clock. Ding reluctantly hung up the phone with a snap. Ding Mianli sat down on the edge of the bed, picked up the phone and looked at it. He couldn't help it. He found the number of Mr. Fang of the headhunting company that morning and called back. The phone had a busy signal. Ding Mianli kept dialing 5 or 6 times. It's the same for everyone. Ding managed to wake up. Could this guy have blocked me? Ding reluctantly took his handbag, rummaged through it to find the other party's business card, and dialed the phone number in the office above. After the phone rang for more than a dozen times, it was picked up, and a clear female voice rang out. Hello, who are you looking for? Ding managed to suppress his anger and said, I'm looking for you, Mr. Fang. Sir, who are you? My surname is Ding, from Zaixianshu, Ding said with all his strength. There was silence on the other end of the phone for a while, and Ding Mianli felt that he seemed to have seen this woman. She was holding the microphone in her hand and looking at the boss opposite, who was leaning on the executive chair. The boss shook his head and opened and closed his mouth silently. Give orders. I'm sorry, our boss Fang is out, the woman said. When are you coming back? I don't know either. When he comes back, I'll tell him you called, the other party said. Ding Mianli could no longer hold back and shouted at the other end of the phone. Don't do this to me. I know Fang is right next to you, sitting opposite you. You tell Fang that if he doesn't answer my call today, don't call me in the future. The phone call. The other party said nothing and hung up the phone with a click. A rapid beep sound came from the phone. Ding Mianli seemed to have been burned and was stunned. After a while, Ding Mianli came to his senses, shook his head, laughed at himself and said, why don't I stop calling you? They have blocked your mobile phone and didn't answer the landline, so I am still planning to continue with you. Contact me? Who are you threatening? He didn't know whether it was because of anger or humiliation, but Ding Mianli felt that his eyes were moist. Ding reluctantly walked into the bathroom, turned on the faucet, and turned to the cold water side. He poured a handful of cold water on his face, and slapped his face with his hands. Ding managed to walk out of the bathroom and sat slumped on the sofa, in a daze. The doorbell rang. Ding dong, ding dong. Ding Mianli ignored it, but the doorbell kept ringing. Then the door lock turned, but the door could not be pushed open, and he found that the door was locked from the inside. The doorbell continued to ring. Ding dong, ding dong. Ding Mianli became impatient, walked over and opened the door suddenly, shouting, what are you doing? Standing outside the door was a 30-year-old waiter who was responsible for room cleaning. She asked Ding Mianli. Sir, do you want to extend your stay? Our checkout time is 12 noon. You have exceeded. Continue to stay. Is that okay? Ding Mian shouted loudly. The other party was stunned for a while, then flattened his mouth and muttered, if you continue to stay, you will continue to stay. Why are you so mean? Ding Mianli glared at her, and the other party whispered, Sir, please go and get another pre-authorization. I know, what a shame. Ding Mian forcefully slammed the door in front of her face, almost hitting her nose. Ding reluctantly returned to the sofa and sat down, rubbing his face with his hands, patting it while rubbing it. He felt that he was calm enough, and then he stopped. Ding tried his best to find the phone number of Mr. Fang of the headhunting company and pressed redial. The busy signal still came from the phone. Ding reluctantly sighed. He was in a daze for a while, then thought about it, and found a phone number marked every H from the address book of his mobile phone. This was the phone number of the HR of Daily Fresh. They did not talk to each other because they had to abide by their differences. But from the beginning of the year to now, they have eaten together 3 times, gone to KTV twice, and had a foot bath together, which is enough to make them familiar. Every time they met, the other party was very polite to Ding Mianli, and even a little attentive. It was very simple. Once Ding Mianli came to take office, he would be the leader of this HR. Ding reluctantly dialed the phone. After the phone rang twice, he picked up the phone and heard a lazy voice. It was obvious that it was lunch break and the other party was taking a lunch break. "Hey, who's there?" "Hello, I'm Ding Mianli said. "You are Ding, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you clearly." "What are you Ding?" "Ding Mianli, delivered from home." "Home fresh delivery?" "We call it daily fresh here." "You made a typo," the other party said. Ding Mianli quickly said, yes, I know you are daily fresh, I am Ding Mianli from Zaixiangxian, we have eaten together and been to KTV. Just last week, we still in Golden Leopard. I'm sorry, sir, you remembered wrongly. I have never been to a leopard. Ding Mianli felt nauseated for a while. He swallowed a mouthful of saliva and tried hard to say, "I am the general manager of the Shanghai branch of Zaixian Shui. We have met with you and Mr. Fang, the head hunter, many times. Haven't you been urging me to come to your place and serve as the vice president of the head office? I'm sorry, Mr. Ding, you must have made a mistake. When we recruit, we entrust a head hunting company. Also, there are regulations above that we are not allowed to hire anyone who is a Zaixian Shui. We and Zaixian Shui, this is a brotherly unit and we won't do this kind of brotherly feuding thing. Goodbye, Mr. Ding." The other party hung up the phone as he spoke, and Ding Mianli sat there blankly. He finally understood the fact that he had undoubtedly been abandoned. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 2076. Wu Huan walked into Zhang Xiangbei's office and asked him, "Ding Mianli is here and wants to see you. Can you see him?" Zhang Xiangbei was stunned for a moment, then said goodbye. The reason why Zhang Xiangbei was stunned for a moment was that from yesterday to today, they had been dealing with matters in Shanghai, or in other words, they were trying to eliminate the possibility of poaching by Daily Fresh. Ma Jian arrived in Hangzhou last night. Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan had a long talk with him. After the talk, Ma Jian rushed back to Shanghai overnight to take over as the executive deputy general manager of his Shanghai branch. The appointment letter followed him. We arrived in Shanghai together. This morning, Wu Huan received a call from Dabao HR, and Zhang Xiangbei received a call from Zheng Huiyang. They knew that this matter could finally be suspended temporarily, and their battle with Daily Fresh would still start on time, but the other party, the poaching thing, will not happen again for the time being, and it has been deterred. Zhang Xiangbei kept thinking about this matter. Wu Huan came in and told him that when Zhang Xiangbei heard the 3 words Ding Mianli, he suddenly felt familiar and unfamiliar. He also found it funny. They were so busy that they actually forgot about the protagonist of the drama. He was always waiting for them in the hotel. Zhang Xiangbei laughed and said to Wu Huan, "I have forgotten about him." "See you, of course I will, and you will come with me." Wu Huan said yes, walked out, and came back after a while, followed by Ding Mianli. Ding Mianli looked pale and looked tired. It was said that he had not seen him for a day, but Zhang Xiangbei felt that even his stature seemed to have become smaller. When Ding Mianli saw Zhang Xiangbei, his eyes were a little dodged, and he immediately said, "I'm sorry, Mr. Zhang, I'm sorry for you, and I'm sorry for the company." Zhang Xiangbei motioned for the 2 of them to sit down, and they sat down on the sofa. Zhang Xiangbei took 2 bottles of water and placed them in front of Ding Mianli and Wu Huan. They both said thank you. Wu Huan did not open the water, but pushed a little to the side. Ding Mianli was calmer than before. He looked at Zhang Xiangbei and continued. Mr. Zhang, I really like Xixian delivery and don't want to leave here. It's them and the headhunting company who have been looking for me. I was brainwashed by them and that's why I'm so confused. Yesterday, I thought about it all day and night in the hotel. I finally made a decision. I called the headhunting company this morning and told them that I would not go to Daily Fresh. Really, Mr. Zhang and Mr. Wu, this is how I informed them. I know that I'm sorry for you. You can punish me however you want, but I really don't want to leave the company. I know that I shouldn't lie to you or say anything. I want to go back to my hometown, etc. The story was made up for me by people from the headhunting company. Mr. Zhang, Mr. Wu, I'm sorry. Wu Huan sat there indifferently. Zhang Xiangbei waved his hand to stop Ding from continuing. Zhang Xiangbei said, Old Ding, what you are sorry for is not us, but everyone in the Shanghai branch. Do you know what you are doing? In the face of a powerful enemy, a commander abandoned his troops and ran to the enemy. Calling you a traitor is not an exaggeration at all, but the first thing you betrayed was not the company, not Mr. Wu and I, but the thousands of employees of the Shanghai company. They have always trusted you. If you command them to the east, they will fight to the east. If you command them to the west, they will fight to the west. You are their backbone, but at this most critical time, you abandon them. No matter, it is not an exaggeration to say that they will be killed. If they lose this battle, their income will definitely drop sharply, and many people may lose their jobs. Therefore, the bad impact you will cause, first of all, will not be on the company or us, but on them, really. By saying you're sorry, you're feeling sorry for them. I know, Mr. Zhang, I hope you can give me a chance to redeem myself. This kind of thing will never happen a second time. I will definitely work hard. You can see my next performance, Mr. Zhang, Mr. Wu, I promise you, I hope you can give me another chance, Ding Mianli said sincerely. Zhang Xiangbei looked at Wu Huan. Wu Huan shook his head slightly. Zhang Xiangbei understood what Wu Huan meant. Now is different from yesterday. If Ding Mianli was fired immediately yesterday, it would be a relief for him. Daily is a big gift, but today, the time is ripe to fire Ding Mianli immediately. Even if they fire Ding Mianli can no longer cause harm to them, because Daily Fresh cannot want him again. If they want him, it will be equivalent to confirming what was written in Lawyer Yu's lawyer's letter. The muzzle of Zai Xianshui is still raised and aimed, and it has not been put down. Once Daily Fresh hires Ding Mianli, Zai Xianshui can still pull the trigger. Dabao knows this better than they do. They will never risk their reputation or risk the law to do this. Ding Mianli is not only a hot potato now, but also a hot potato for Daily Fresh. The kind of shit you avoid. And Ding Mianli has indeed become a lost dog. If Xianshui does not take him in and kicks him out, it can be said that he will no longer have to work in this industry. No company will want someone who once thought about it. After strangling the professional manager of his company, Ding Mianli might really have to go back to his hometown and take over that shabby commercial concrete company. Zhang Xiangbei looked at Ding Mianli and sighed secretly. After all, they were once comrades in the same trench. They spent many sleepless nights and fought side by side. Ding Mianli led the Shanghai branch. Thousands of employees fought brilliantly in Shanghai, and Zhang Xiangbei was grateful to them. Zhang Xiangbei sat there, looking at Wu Huan and Ding Mianli, feeling a little emotional. Who knew that three people who used to eat from the same pot would end up in this situation? Ding Mianli continued, Mr. Zhang, Mr. Wu, to be honest, even my girlfriend gave me an ultimatum. She told me that if I leave Xianshui, she will break up with me. She said. Stop talking, old Ding. Zhang Xiangbei frowned, a little disgusted in his heart. He hated Ding Mianli's behavior of using women as a shield when something happened. Zhang Xiangbei and Ding Mianli said. Let's discuss the matter, Lao Ding. I must admit that you are a very capable person and do an excellent job. The Shanghai branch is well managed. I think Daily Fresh recruits people and has also selected them. If you are not very capable, they won't come to poach you either. However, a person with strong abilities may create miracles when he does good things, but when he does bad things, his destructive power is also very strong, much stronger than ordinary people, and the damage caused is greater. If what you did this time was not discovered and stopped in time, it can be said that the harm to our Shanghai branch may be fatal. I don't need to say this. I think you know it very well. Mr. Zhang, I'm sorry, Ding Mianli muttered. Zhang Xiangbei lowered his head in thought. Both Wu Huan and Ding Mianli looked at him. The office fell into a brief silence. When Zhang Xiangbei raised his head, he did not look at Wu Huan. He knew that Wu Huan, what expression would he have at this time? It must be looking at him and shaking his head slightly. Zhang Xiangbei looked at Ding Mianli and said, "Old Ding, let's do this. I'll give you a chance. Whether you can seize it or not depends on you." "Okay, Mr. Zhang, tell me, I will take good care of it," Ding Mianli said quickly. "I'll give you 1 month," Zhang Xiangbei said. "This month, you are still the general manager of the Shanghai branch, but we have appointed Ma Jian as the executive deputy general manager of the Shanghai branch. This month, you, the general manager, are not leading him, but helping him to do a good job in cooperation with him, the deputy general manager. This time, Daily Fresh has set up 2 battlefields in Hangzhou and Shanghai. The focus will definitely be Shanghai. In terms of fresh food delivery, it can be said that whoever can win in Shanghai will win the world. Now, others are on the offensive, and we are on the defensive. You must defend Shanghai. It's limited to 1 month. If you don't perform well in this month, I'm sorry, if you leave, you will either terminate the contract or be fired. The compensation and other things will be discounted. If you perform well, you won't be able to continue to work in Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, and Shenzhen. Each of these regional general managers is responsible for his actions, and so are you. You will be demoted, and your grade will be downgraded by 2 levels. This is your punishment. You will be transferred to a certain city in the Midwest to prepare for the establishment of a branch there. Old Ding, this is what I can do if you accept the best result. Think about it carefully, and if you accept it, go back to Shanghai. If you don't accept it, we'll stop here." "I accept it," Ding Mianli said. "There is nothing to think about." "Mr. Zhang, you are right. I have to bear this responsibility for what I do myself. I thank Mr. Zhang and Mr. Wu for giving me this opportunity." "Okay, then you can go back to Shanghai now," Zhang Xiangbei said. Ding managed to stand up, bowed to Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan and said, "Thank you, Mr. Zhang and Mr. Wu. I will go back immediately. Don't worry, I will perform well and cooperate with Ma Jian's work." Ding reluctantly said goodbye and left. Wu Huan glared at Zhang Xiangbei, who smiled and said, "Don't glare at me. I don't dare to look at you until you see the front. I know you will definitely oppose my decision." "I'm sorry, I made the decision without permission." "You still know," Wu Huan said angrily. "Do you really believe his nonsense? Why did he wake up after thinking about it all night? He called the headhunting company this morning and rejected them. Today, the matter is still by the does he have to make the decision." "Of course I know, I'm not stupid," Zhang Xiangbei said with a smile. "I just think that after all, people who have eaten together in the same pot must give others a way to survive." "You are just too soft-hearted," Wu Huan scolded. Zhang Xiangbei said, "Okay, I'm soft-hearted. You know what you are talking about?" "A woman's kindness," Wu Huan said, and then added, a woman, would not make such a decision." Zhang Xiangbei laughed. "Next time something like this happens, I won't even come to discuss it with you. I'll just kill you without mercy." Kill first and retaliate later. Wu Huan dropped these words and went back to his office. Zhang Xiangbei sat there alone, thinking and laughing again. What he was thinking was that no one would be perfect, and everyone would make mistakes. Of course Ding Mianli would, and people who make mistakes would, in certain situations, under certain conditions, we can find a way out, otherwise we will all be killed and brought down. Furthermore, when doing things, especially in a company as big as theirs, you cannot assume that there are good people below and around you. You deal with good people, and you will definitely have to deal with bad people, especially those capable bad people. The key is how control. When Gu Gong told him the story of the three kingdoms, he said that when Zhuge was alive, he knew that Wei Yan was very capable and would rebel one day. But when he was alive, he knew that Wei Yan did not have the courage, so Zhuge kept using it. Until he was about to die, Zhuge understood that after his death, it would be the time for Wei Yan to rebel. He secretly ordered Ma Dai to follow Wei Yan. When Wei Yan rebelled, he also followed suit. When Wei Yan drew his sword, he immediately led his troops to rebel against Zhang Wei. When he shouted, "Who dares to kill me?" 3 times, Ma Dai behind him shouted, "I dare to kill you." Wei Yan's head was chopped off with one knife. Let you guess a riddle. The riddle is: Kong Ming expected Wei Yan to rebel. The answer is the name of a foreign currency. By the way, this currency no longer exists. Zhang Xiangbei immediately guessed the mark, the German mark. Gu Gong also told Zhang Xiangbei the story of Han Xian. Wei Yan and Han Xian were both capable bad guys to Zhuge and Liu Bang. You should not pray that these capable bad guys will disappear. How to make good use of them and control them is the test for you. Zhang Xiangbei was also very interested in one thing. He wanted to see how Ding Meili returned to Shanghai. Although he was still the general manager, his role was as embarrassing as it could be. This role could even be said to be the leader. It's humiliating, with Xiao Wu at the top and Zhou Ruyi at the bottom, and he has to report to Ma Jian, his old enemy, every day. Zhang Xiangbei really wants to see how Ding Mianli handles these relationships, and whether he can really work hard to do a good job as he said. If he can really do it, then Ding Mianli should not be underestimated. It can even be said that he is worthy of a big responsibility. A person with such a strong psychological quality, when he plays a positive role, his energy is huge. Zhang Xiangbei laughed, feeling that he really had good intentions. Thank you for the reward of 2 fishes, reading the book every day, and ranking 3rd from top to bottom. Thank you. Yuan Lai is UW, Lao Chen Tang, Zliang, Soap you have lost weight again, Wuhan, no time to think, and how, Zipanjiang 1, FMC 196804424, MR. SGN, Book Friend 37479, Good 110123 for your monthly votes. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 2077. There are only 4 days left until September 15th, the day when Daily Fresh will be launched. The entire Fresh delivery has entered a state of war. Everyone is excited and nervous. The opponent is not others, but themselves. The strength of their opponents aroused their competitiveness and fighting spirit as they were on Dabao.com every day. A month ago, each of them would have thought that their relationship with Diabao.com was just strolling around and clearing their shopping carts every day in their free time. They did not expect that they would be in close combat with them so soon. Hand-to-hand combat. The smoke of gunpowder has begun to fill the air, and the horn of war is ringing everywhere. First, there are overwhelming advertisements, from Weibo to Debo.com. On Weibo, if you open it, you can see the advertisement "Want fresh, fresh every day" on almost every page. There is no way, this is their advantage. Who knows that the owner of Weibo is also teacher Ma? In the elevators of every building in every community in Hangzhou and Shanghai, their daily fresh advertisement appeared in the elevator. It was like a prank. The advertisement was located opposite the Zaixian delivery advertisement. Residents walked into the elevator and saw to the left is the advertisement for Zaixian delivery, and to the right is the advertisement for daily fresh. Zhang Xiangbei and the others expected the situation to occur, and Zhou Ruyi also specifically asked the advertising company whether the elevator advertising company and Zhou Ruyi's fresh delivery advertising were partners. They told Zhou Ruyi, "Don't worry, this won't happen. There are only 4 advertising spaces in an elevator. At that time, they are all full. In Hangzhou, next to you is an advertisement for an education and training institution, and opposite is an advertisement for a fund advertising for companies and dental clinics. Here in Shanghai, there are milk advertisements and hair transplant advertisements, and there is also a fund company like Hangzhou. They are a national company." Zhang Xiangbei and the others were really relieved. As a result, starting yesterday, in all the elevators in Hangzhou and Shanghai, the fund company advertisements on the opposite side disappeared and turned into advertisements for daily fresh. Zhou Ruyi called and asked. The advertising company said helplessly, "Mr. Zhou, there is nothing we can do. Who knows that this fund company is still a company controlled by Daibao after 18 generations. They deliberately occupied this place, and they didn't want you to discover it beforehand. In the contract they signed with us, they signed an advertising space, and specifically when and what content of the advertisement will appear. As long as the content is not illegal, we have no right interference, so we have nothing to do except review the content." The other party said to comfort Zhou Ruyi, "Mr. Zhou, it's not that we don't help, we can only blame the enemy for being too cunning. What is even more irritating is that the slogan of Daily Fresh on the elevator advertisement is not Want Freshness, Daily Freshness, but the rather challenging earlier is worse than later. Everyone knows this is. What does it mean? I just want to tell everyone that although the Zaixian delivery opposite came early, it is not as good as us." The advertisement also specifically added the sentence "company owned by Toubao.com. This is using the reputation and popularity of Toubao.com to endorse Daily Fresh, for fear that others will not know. Including the advertisements on the radio stations, they almost always squeezed into which station and time slot Zaixian delivery was on. If Zhou Ruyi hadn't greeted every radio station in advance, and the radio stations saw that they were regulars. In order to save customers' reputation, the Daily Fresh advertisement had to be pushed ahead of the Home Fresh delivery advertisement. Fortunately, it did not succeed. Now it has become an advertisement for fresh delivery at home. Once the advertisement is over, the advertisement for Want Freshness, fresh food every day immediately comes out. Fresh Daily has become an advertisement that fresh delivery at home cannot get rid of. Tale. On the evening of the 14th, it was said that they would have a party to celebrate the launch of Daily Fresh. Wu Huan got the program list and watched it with Zhang Xiangbei. The more they watched, the more they watched. For this party, Daily Fresh invested heavily and invited more than a dozen popular traffic stars to participate. It is said that 3 satellite TV stations will join forces to broadcast the live broadcast. Xiao Wenwen called Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan and told them, "What are you afraid of? We will come too." "Why are we here too?" Zhang Xiangbei asked. "We're also going to have a party," Xiao Wenwen said. "It's also on the night of the 14th, aren't they broadcasting it live on satellite TV? We're also going to have an online live broadcast. I'm here, and there's that die-hard Jin Qian, all the anchors of Fanhua will come together. Our total fans are hundreds of millions, and the number of people watching will not be less than them." Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan's eyes lit up, and they both felt that Xiao Wenwen's idea was good. If there were dozens of anchors on the entire Fanhua network, if they started broadcasting at the same time that day, the momentum would indeed be huge. To move all the anchors, as long as Lu Yun just gave the order. Zhang Xiangbei was confident that as long as he went to his godmother and told her this request, the godmother would definitely agree, but the 14th is to celebrate the launch of Daily Fresh, so what's the reason? We can't just celebrate the launch of Zaixian delivery, right? Zhang Xiangbei asked. This question also stumped Wu Huan and Xiao Wenwen. They also felt that this was a big problem. If there was no reason for it, it would look like they were just here to make trouble with Daily Fresh. That would be too much. Xiajiaza was angry. Ask your dad, Xiao Wenwen said. Bei, when you don't have any ideas, just ask your dad. He has many ideas. Zhang Xiangbei actually called Zhang Chen. Zhang Chen was not at Ben Muishan Group today, but at the food and drinking man and woman opposite. Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan hurried over. Zhang Xiangbei told Zhang Chen about the matter. Zhang Chen thought for a moment and finally had an idea. He said, "They are inviting popular celebrities. Looking at the list, they have almost invited all the ones that should be invited. No matter how much you organize it here, you will not be able to organize a more eye-catching party than theirs. How about this? Since they are purely commercial events, just come to a charity party." Charity gala, Wu Huan asked puzzledly, thinking to himself, how can he compete with the other party at this charity gala? Think about it, two companies with such opposing competitive relationships hold a party on the same day and at the same time. This is eye-catching in itself. With so many people looking at you, what do you compare to? To compare with wealth and wealth, of course you compare. But if you want to dig out your treasure, how about finding another way to compare your corporate image with them? One company is engaged in commercial activities, and the other is engaged in charity activities. Think about it, in the eyes of the public, who will give a thumbs up, and whose corporate image is better? Zhang Chen asked them, and Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan suddenly realized that if this was the case, everyone would only scold the Daily Fresh slut while watching their party. Isn't it just a few stinky money? What's going on? On the contrary, their Zaixian delivery party may not be as eye-catching as Daily Fresh, but they are a charity party, and the connotation of the party will be praised by others. It is imaginable that many people on the internet will even scolding each other, "You are so rich and can afford to hire so many celebrities, why don't you do charity like Zaixian Xiao?" Daily Fresh may be scolded for this. Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan both laughed. Wu Huan and Zhang Chen said, "Mr. Zhang, your idea is great. A charity party is the best choice. However, what kind of charity event should we do?" Zhang Chen couldn't help laughing and said, "You do charity every day, and you still ask me what charity activities I do? It's your Sui Shivang, a charity fundraising performance to help farmers in need. The QR code is published so that everyone can scan the code to donate while watching the live broadcast. 1. No money is too little, and 10,000 is never too much. By the way, ask the notary public from the notary office to come to the scene for notarization. The number of donations is displayed in real time at the bottom of the screen. This rolling number is getting bigger and bigger, which is a stimulus to those watching the live broadcast. It will also become a topic in itself. You are so awesome, Mr. Zhang. Why do you have so many ideas? You are like the king of ideas," Wu Huan shouted. Zhang Chen was a little proud and said, "I'll help you come up with ideas. The time is short now. It's too late to arrange the program temporarily. The main team of the performance will be Xiang Nan and the others. There is no need to rehearse. We will add a few guests in the middle and create a show for the evening party. Just come down, by the way, ask Wenwen to help you invite the guests, she has this way and this ability, she can drag others here." Wu Huan laughed when he heard this, and Zhang Chen asked, "Why are you laughing?" Wu Huan said with a smile, "You and Wen Wen, you two really have a good understanding. We had no idea before. Wen Wen asked us to find you, and now you ask us to find Wen Wen. You really understand each other." When Zhang Chen heard this, his expression suddenly became unnatural. Fortunately, neither Wu Huan nor Zhang Xiangbei noticed it. Zhang Chen quickly changed the subject and said to Wu Huan, "Of course, she was my agent." Wu Huan immediately called Xiao Wenwen and told her what Zhang Chen said about the charity gala. Wenwen shouted, "Great, this is a great idea. I know Mr. Zhang has a way. Wu Huan, give Mr. Zhang a kiss for me." Wu Huan said with a smile, "I don't dare, I'm afraid Zhang Xiangbei and Mr. Gan will come together to beat me." Wenwen giggled and said, "Since it is a charity party to help poor farmers, and they invite popular celebrities, I will invite important ones, such as Lu Huan, Han Hong, Zhang Yumu, Chen Daoming, Lao Kui, Zhang Ziyi, etc. They will all go to charity events, and I will invite Hu Jie and Wang Zhiwen to Shanghai." Zhang Xiangbei said yes, and you will implement it immediately. "Okay, right away, don't delay." For a minute after Wenwen finished speaking, she hung up the phone. Wu Huan put down the phone and looked at Zhang Xiangbei. Both of them laughed, feeling that a big deal had been finalized. Zhang Chen looked at them and said, "This alone is not enough. If we want to increase the topicality, we must also add more activities." "Can we add more activities?" "What should we add?" Wu Huan asked. "Charity sale," Zhang Chen said, "charity performance plus charity sale." Zhang Chen picked up his mobile phone and said to them, "I'll make 2 phone calls first to see if it's possible. If so, your party may be the one that raises the most charity funds in the country this year." It's hard not to make headlines. Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan were stunned when they heard this. They looked at Zhang Chen and held their breath while listening to his call. "Thank you, Tin Soldier, for the tip. Thank you for the monthly votes of 4 + 1 = 5, Feng Konghu 1974, The Far Place is Not Far Nor Near, Edison, Wind and Wing, Book Friends 2019060911404298, Book Friends 201701052133111538. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening, everyone." The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 2078. Zhang Chen's first phone call was to Lao Ju, who is now a world-renowned artist. When Zhang Chen called him, Lao Ju was not in Shanghai, but in Paris. He was attending the Pompidou Culture and Art Conference at the invitation of the Center. Liberty Leading the People was produced and exhibited. The exhibition will last for 2 months from July 27 to September 27, and will then begin a global tour. 186 years ago, on July 27, the July Revolution broke out in Paris. The citizens of Paris revolted and overthrew the Bourbon dynasty. From July 27 to 29, 1830, the citizens of Paris fought against the royalists and finally occupied the palace. Charles X fled to England. These 3 days were known in history as the Three Glorious Days. The Louvre, 1.4 kilometers away from the Pompidou Center for Culture and Art, displays Delacroix's famous oil painting Liberty Leading the People, which depicts the most critical battle of the July Revolution, the street fighting in Paris. Scenes. In the smoke, Clara Lessing, a young woman wearing a Phrygian skullcap, raised her right hand high, holding a red, white, and blue tricolor flag, the tricolor flag fluttering in the wind. Her left hand held an infantry gun with a bayonet. With this posture, she led the Paris citizens behind her to attack the royalist barricades. The tricolor flag is now the national flag of France, and the image of Clara Lessing has become the French Statue of Liberty, deeply rooted in the hearts of the people. To the left of Clara Lessing is the Parisian boy Allaire brandishing a cavalry pistol. Different from Delacroix's romantic painting style, Lao Ju's installation exhibition uses an objective and calm attitude to show the panoramic view of Paris during the July Revolution. If careful viewers look carefully, they can see among the thousands of porcelain dolls, you can find Clara Lessing and the young Allaire, but they are just one of the many Paris citizens and are not particularly outstanding. The fact is that there is not much information about Clara Lessing now. After the July Revolution, no one knew about Clara Lessing's experience. This woman, the symbol of the Statue of Liberty, became freer after the July Revolution. Or even less free, and no one knows that whether it is Clara Lessing or Allaire, they have long been annihilated in time. History is the narration of the victors, and it will always show its splendor and eye-catchingness in frozen pictures, but this is not the real history. The real history needs to be restored in the dimensions of time and space. What Lao Ju does is this restoration work. There is a 7-hour time difference between Paris and Beijing. When he received Zhang Chen's call, Lao Ju was still in bed and hadn't gotten up. The cell phone on the bedside table rang. He reached for it and looked at it. He saw that it was Zhang Chen's phone number. Lao Ju, he sat up on the bed. "Mr. Zhang, have you arrived in Paris?" Lao Ju asked. The reason why he asked this was because when the exhibition was about to be launched, Lao Ju invited Zhang Chen to attend the opening ceremony. Unfortunately, it was Zhang Chen's busiest time at that time, so he did not go there and promised to go there when he had time. In fact, being busy is just one reason. The bigger reason is that Zhang Chen really hates going abroad. The more than 10 hours of air travel will make him feel uncomfortable. Zhang Chen said, "No, I am still in Hangzhou." "Then what are your orders, Mr. Zhang?" Lao Ju asked. "I dare not give you orders. You are already a Knight of the French Order of Arts and Letters. How dare I give you orders?" Zhang Chen and Lao Ju said that there is such an event, which is a charity performance and charity sale to help poor farmers. I would like to ask if you can participate. "What did you do?" Lao Ju asked. "Absolutely. My son is doing this and needs my support," Zhang Chen said with a smile. "I'm going to take out 2 paintings from the art gallery and participate in the charity sale." "Oh, Mr. Zhang," Lao Ju thought for a moment and said to Zhang Chen, "How about I donate the Battle of Fai Shui?" Zhang Chen was startled and shouted quickly, "How can this be done? It's too expensive. Just donate a few of the dolls." The Battle of Fai Shui is Lao Ju's first large-scale work. Zhang Chen saw it in Lao Ju's studio in Shanghai, and helped him complete it, and held its first exhibition at the Riverside Oil Painting Gallery. From here, with the help of Zhang Chen, Lao Ju went to the United States to exhibit his works, which caused a sensation and began to spread around the world. Precisely because the Battle of Fai Shui is Lao Ju's first set of works, Lao Ju himself treasures it very much. Many collectors have paid high prices to collect this set of works, but Lao Ju has not sold it. Lao Ju smiled on the phone and said, "It is a whole and cannot be divided. If it were anyone else, I would definitely not be able to part with it." "You, Mr. Zhang, didn't you just say, oh, this set of works would not have been completed without your support? I don't know where to display it after it's finished." "Mr. Zhang, the stuff is still in Shanghai. I'll ask my assistant in Shanghai to contact you immediately to see how to send it there." Zhang Chen said, "Yes, thank you very much, Lao Ju." "I want to thank Nang, but I never had the chance," Lao Ju said. Putting down the phone, Zhang Chen and Zhang Xiangbei Wu Huan said, "Okay, this charity sale is over. Do you know what the starting price can be for Lao Ju's set of the Battle of Fai Shui?" Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan both shook their heads. How could they know this? "More than $1,500, Zhang Chen said. Wu Huan shouted, "That's 10,000 yuan. Zhang Chen burst into laughter. 10,000 yuan? 10,000 yuan is not enough to transport it from Shanghai to Hangzhou for freight and insurance. I mean 10,000, more than 15 million US dollars. Ah, Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan were both startled. Only then did they realize how embarrassing Zhang Chen's phone call was. Zhang Chen's second call was to Su Lejun. Su Lejun is an oil painter that is very popular among collectors and auction houses in China. At Sotheby's spring auction in Hong Kong this year, one of Su Lejun's oil paintings sold for 3,000 yuan. A high price of 2.85 million Hong Kong dollars. Su Lejun studied in the Suzhou Institute of Arts and Crafts as an undergraduate, and is an alumnus of Zhao Xian. He studied in the oil painting department of the China Academy of Art as a graduate student, and is a classmate of Xiaoshu. Su Lejun's family is from a rural area in northern Jiangsu, and his family's situation is relatively poor. From undergraduate to graduate school, he has always been the recipient of financial support from Zhang Chen and his Riverside Oil Painting Gallery. The phone rang more than a dozen times, but no one answered. Zhang Chen just put down his phone when his phone rang. When he looked, it was not Su Lejun's number, but an unfamiliar number. Zhang Chen picked it up and it turned out to be Lao Ju's number. An assistant in Shanghai asked Zhang Chen how he transported the Battle of Faishui to Hangzhou. In this set of works, in addition to the huge photos, there are also boxes of dolls, which are enough for a truck. Zhang Chen said to her, "I will ask the boss of my Shanghai logistics base to contact you and ask him to take someone to do the shipment yourself." The other party said yes, then I'll wait for Mr. Zhang's call. The call was hung up, and a new call came in immediately. This time it was Su Lejun. As soon as the call came through, Su Lejun was smiling on the other end. Zhang Chen was surprised and asked, "Why are you laughing? It's ridiculous for me to call you." No, Teacher Zhang, I just went to defecate and didn't hear the call." Su Lejun said that from the first day he met Zhang Chen, he called Zhang Chen Teacher Zhang and has been calling him Teacher Zhang until now. Zhang Chen asked, "What do you enjoy about having a bowel movement?" "I held it in for more than 2 hours and now I'm completely relaxed." Su Lejun said that Zhang Chen also laughed, knowing that he was addicted to painting and was reluctant to put down the brush in his hand. Zhang Chen told Su Lejun about the charity sale, and Zhang Chen asked, "Can you give me a small thing to add to the fun? It could be a sketch, or something like that." No, Su Lixing refused, and then said, "Teacher Zhang, I want to choose a piece of work and send it to you personally. You treat me to dinner. Of course there is no problem with eating, but there is really no need to get something too good," Zhang Chen said. There was silence on the other end of the phone for a while, and then Su Lixing said, "Teacher Zhang, you also know that I come from the countryside. I have been doing farm work at home since I was a child. I don't need others to tell me how hard it is for farmers. I watched the Xixian delivery activity on the internet. I have been there, and Xiaoshu also told me that I knew it was your master who was doing it. During the Qingming festival, I accompanied my parents back to my hometown from Beijing to visit their graves. I also saw several needy families in the village and participated in this activity. Now my life is much better. Teacher Zhang, please let me do my part." Zhang Chen said, "Okay, thank you, Su Lejun. Is it right that the charity bazaar will be broadcast live through the Zaixian Shui website?" Su Lejun asked. Zhang Chen is right. There were a few collectors who came to me directly and said they wanted to buy my paintings. I asked them to join in and take photos online, Su Lejun said. Zhang Chen said, "Yes, that's great." After hanging up the phone, Zhang Chen and Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan said, "Okay, with their 2 works, this charity sale will be no surprise and will definitely cause a sensation." Zhang Xiangbei, I asked Zhao Xian to donate 2 paintings from the collection of the Riverside Oil Painting Gallery in the name of your mother. If your mother knows that you are doing this, she will be very happy, Zhang Chen said. Also, go and ask for it yourself from your uncle's place. These 5 paintings are enough. They can be sold at this charity sale and they won't be ugly. The market price of Xiaoshu's oil paintings has now risen to over RMB 10 million. Zhang Xiangbei said, "Okay, if he doesn't give it to me, I'll grab one. As a result, Xiaoxu not only gave me, but also gave me 2 paintings. The news of the charity sale and the catalog of works were posted online. The charity sale has not even started yet, but it has already aroused enthusiastic responses on the internet. Anyone who knows the business knows that this is a genuine and high-level charity sale, not the kind of show-off activity. For the charity sale, many collectors at home and abroad paid deposits and provided proof of funds. Because it is an online auction, especially because they are afraid of rivals disrupting the auction, Zhang Xiangbei and the others require buyers to pay a deposit to participate in the auction, and must also provide proof of funds to prove that you are indeed capable of buying the auction. Any piece of work. Splendid China and Han Emperor Lu Bang's Black Forest Food, Lin Shuwen's LinkedIn Education, Wu Ziyawai, Wei Venfang and their Beautiful Express, Qian Fang and their real estate company, Xiaohu's Fubon Financial Holdings Cultural Fund, and Lu Yun and Xiaofang's introduction. Many customers have signed up. Zhang Chen asked the Riverside Oil Painting Gallery to sign up, with the intention of taking a picture of Laoju's Battle of Faishui. Laoju once proposed to give the Battle of Faishui to the Riverside Oil Painting Gallery, but Zhang Chen did not accept it. Now, Zhang Chen thought he could take a photo of it. The first exhibition of the Battle of Faishui was on display at the Riverside Oil Painting Gallery, which was very meaningful to Laoju. It was also very meaningful to Zhang Chen and the others at the Riverside Oil Painting Gallery. It's written in their external promotional materials. Thanks to Lao Chen Tang, 2 fishes one above the other, wind, forest, water and fire, ranking 3rd from top to bottom. Thank you to Lao Chen Tang, Fen Lin Shui Huo, Zhen Wu Long Yi, Yun Long Frogfish, Piao Ling Yu, Zi Bei Keng Sheng Edison, Too Late to Think, Book Friends 1611222221050244, Book Friends 201906091140429778 for your monthly votes. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 2079. Xiongnan came with Ding Yusong, Yin Tao, and a large group of people from the troupe. The venue for the benefit performance was rented at the Huanglong Gymnasium. Xiongnan brought Ding Yusong and others to set up the stage and decorate the venue. When the troupe went on tour, they all set up their own stages, including the annual Yongcheng International Street Theater Festival. So many stages are set up under their command and coordination. They have this experience. In addition, with Zhang Chen, an old artist, helping out, it would be no problem to build a decent stage in one day. If we don't have enough lighting and sound equipment, we go to a performance equipment company to rent it. It's an old relationship anyway, so we get whatever we need. The stage is set up on the basketball court in the middle of the gymnasium, but there are 2 floors of live broadcast stations on both sides. Dozens of anchors from Fanhua Network must be arranged so that everyone's camera is not blocked and they cannot interfere with each other. This needs to be done simple separation, but also ensuring a good live broadcast angle, took a lot of thought. Qian also reserved Xiao Wenwen's live broadcast slot. According to the original plan, Xiao Wenwen would arrive on the same flight as the big names she invited. She said that I would escort them and work without money, for fear that they would run away midway. In fact, she wanted to accompany them, but there was no other way. First-class seats on the plane from Beijing to Hangzhou were always in short supply. By the time they booked the tickets, there were not so many first-class seats, not even the business seats on the high-speed rail. Wenwen could only those who are older, fatter, and women can be given priority to go to first class, and some can only be arranged to fly in economy class. Some people were unhappy and said that they had never flown in economy class before. Wenwen coaxed them and said, I know, you have been a big boss for too long, and you have forgotten the poor days, but we are going this time to help poor farmers. Look at how hot the weather is, and the farmers still have to sweat their crops into the soil, so we can just be aggrieved, okay? I'll tell you stories and jokes all the way to make sure you don't feel tired at all. Also, think about it, your behavior of taking economy class to participate in charity performances to help poor farmers, I will publicize it to you, and you will has your public image instantly grown, Wen coaxed him. One person was convinced, and the other one had another misstep. When some people heard that it was economy class, they simply said that they were not feeling well and couldn't go. Maybe next time. Wen was scolding her for being hypocritical, but she was helpless. She couldn't tell others that they would risk their lives to help poor farmers. Wen urgently asked Zhang Chen and the others for help. Finally, Lu Yun and Xiaofang came forward and borrowed 2 business jets from friends. Xiaohu also transferred their Fuban Financial Holdings Boeing 747 business jet from Taipei, and everyone flew their pickup and drop-off. This solved the problem. This charity performance is not open to the public, but there is no audience. The stands are empty and the emotions of the performers on the stage cannot be aroused. This is easy to handle. Several friends will divide the seats and send their own employees to fill them up. The scene is enough, and it can also guarantee warm applause and a very enthusiastic audience. Things at the Huanglong Stadium were left to Xiang Nan, Zhang Chen, Lu Ligan, and Tan Shuhen. Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan stayed in their offices. For them, actively preparing for the challenge was the most important thing. Important work. They had a premonition that once the cold chain trucks and delivery personnel from both parties entered the same community, conflicts might occur. Especially the staff at their Zaixian delivery side held their breath in their hearts, seeing everyone. How can the personnel of Japan and Korea have a good face? If you scold me and I scold you, they may start fighting. Many such examples have happened. Not to mention Wu Zayawai and others, it is common for express delivery companies to fight with each other. Those who sell brand A herbal tea and those who sell brand B herbal tea will also fight against each other. Those who install broadband in the same community will also have conflicts, and eventually it will develop to the point where you cut off my fiber optic cable to the extent I cut your fiber optic cable. Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan had a good division of labor. As soon as the party ended on the evening of the 14th, Zhang Xiangbei went to Shanghai to supervise the army, while Wu Huan stayed in Hangzhou to take charge. They held several meetings and gave instructions to other branches. General managers, tell them that at that time, the strength and resources here at the headquarters will focus on supporting the battles in Shanghai and Hangzhou, and you are keeping a close eye on them. One more thing, although Daily Fresh is launched in Hangzhou and Shanghai this time, we don't know their layout in other cities. We don't know if anyone is stationed in your city, so, you must also be more vigilant and prevent people from causing sabotage in your areas, Zhang Xiangbei reminded everyone. Wu Huan was right, the blind spot we monitor is the cold chain truck. When the cold chain truck arrives at the community, you must ensure that someone always stays on the cold chain truck. Do not have all personnel go to deliver goods. If the cold chain truck is tricked, someone will appear. Large-scale food safety issues will knock us to the ground with one punch. Zhang Xiangbei said on the side that Mr. Wu was right to remind him. He gave an example of the food poisoning incident of eating and drinking men and women. Although it turned out that the problem was not with eating and drinking men and women, but the drinking fountain at the customer's own home. Problem, but once this happens, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention will immediately order a shutdown and seal up our production workshop. If the workshop is closed for 3 days, let alone 3 days, there is nothing we can do about it even for 3 hours. At the same time, the rumors will definitely run faster and farther than the truth. Not to mention, those who spread rumors will use their mouths, and those who refute them will break their legs. Once this impact spreads, even if it turns out that there is no problem with our fresh home delivery, we will have to spend 10 times the energy to eliminate this impact, Zhang Xiangbei said. Li Wei said, moreover, once we are shut down, if we are in Hangzhou and Shanghai, then don't hit us by Daily Fresh. We will take the initiative to give up our position. Daily Fresh will definitely take it all our customers harvest. Which family or organization can go 3 days without buying groceries? They are already accustomed to buying groceries online, which is not the case here. They will naturally go to Daily Fresh. Once they become a customer of Daily Fresh, it will be difficult for us to pull it back. They were having a meeting here. Zhang Xiangbei saw on the screen that in the Shanghai conference room, someone came in and whispered a few words to Xiao Wu and Ma Jian. Xiao Wu stood up immediately and pressed Ma Jian's shoulder at the same time. He continued the meeting, and Xiao Wu took Ding Mianli away. What's going on? Zhang Xiangbei asked. There is a problem in a community, Ma Jian said. Mr. Wu, rush over now. What's the problem? Wu Huan asked. The specifics are not clear yet, but there was a conflict between our people and those from Daily Fresh, Ma Jian said. Find out the situation immediately, Zhang Xiangbei said. Ma Jian said yes. As they were talking, Zhang Xiangbei's cell phone rang. It was Zhou Ruyi. Zhang Xiangbei quickly picked it up. Zhou Ruyi told him on the phone that people on both sides of the Shuiyingtiankan community in Gubei were about to start fighting. I happened to be nearby and rushed over, and I just arrived now. Because? Zhang Xiangbei asked. The people from Daily Fresh went too far. They posted the advertisement on our fresh keeping cabinet. When our delivery people saw it, of course they tore up the advertisement. They refused to do it and continued to put it up. They also said that they would let our delivery people pay for the torn advertisements, Zhou Ruyi said. This kind of thing is too much to bully, Wu Huan shouted. Zhang Xiangbei remembered and said to Zhou Ruyi, be careful, the other party is trying to lure the tiger away from the mountain. Go and have a look. Don't let everyone leave the cold chain truck. Don't have any problems with the cold chain truck. President Wu is already here. Okay, I'll go over and check out the cold chain truck. Zhou Ruyi hung up the phone and ran away. Everyone here was almost furious. Xiang Yun shouted on the screen, let President Wu go and fight, what's the point of being polite? Zhang Xiangbei glared at her, but Xiang Yun was still unconvinced, and she said. Really, when we were doing projects in the past, we often encountered this kind of thing. It is impossible to avoid conflicts at all. If you don't ask them for trouble, they will find you. At this time, it depends on whose fist is stronger. If you want to beat them until they are afraid, so that the same thing won't happen the second time, otherwise it will be very annoying. Other people talked a lot and agreed with Xiang Yun's statement. De Wenwen said. Anyway, we are right, and we are not afraid if we are right. Whoever comes out to mediate in the end will lose no matter where the matter is handled. Where's Wenwen? Wenwen, Xiang Yun called. De Wenwen said, I'm here. After saying that, it became clear that Xiang Yun was looking for Xiao Wenwen. Xiao Wenwen was busy at this time and had no time to attend the meeting. De Wenwen was not convinced and asked. Xiang Yun, what do you mean? You think I can't do it because of swearing and fighting? Do you look down on us elderly people? Don't dare. Xiang Yun smiled, and at the same time pursed his lips towards Zhang Xiangbei and the others. De Wenwen understood and shouted. Mr. Zhang and Mr. Wu, Xiang Evian is right. This happens everywhere. You can't be timid. Zhang Xiangbei didn't know whether to laugh or cry, and quickly said, okay, I promise not to give in, but you have to figure things out first. Can fighting solve all problems? Zhang Xiangbei muttered as he spoke, it is said that every man is brave and every man is brave. It's strange. Why are so many men here silent? Why are you women so excited? Everyone laughed, and Lin Kunfen said, that's how our company is. Women are responsible for talking, and us men are responsible for doing things. Zhou Ruyi's call came, and she and Zhang Xiangbei said, "Fortunately, we emphasized the safety issue with everyone yesterday. The driver has been on the cold chain truck and has not left. He is very experienced and stopped the car underneath the surveillance camera in the community." Zhang Xiangbei nodded and said, "Yes, not bad. I saw Mr. Wu and the others arriving, so I went over to Zhou Ruyi, shouted and ran away." After a while, Zhou Ruyi requested a WeChat video, and Zhang Xiangbei accepted it. When he opened it, he was shocked. He saw in the camera that there were dozens of people from the other party's Daily Fresh. They were obviously well prepared, and there were only a dozen people nearby, half of whom were delivering food in nearby communities and came over after hearing the news. Xiao Wu stood at the front, and Zhang Xiangbei heard him talking to the other person. "It's impossible to put an advertisement here. If you want to fight, you can fight. Don't you have a lot of people? Come on, send 3 people out and fight me alone. If I get beaten down by you, I will let you stick it. You can stick it as much as you like." Zhou Ruyi and Zhang Xiangbei said, "Mr. Zhang, they are still calling people." When Zhang Xiangbei heard that he was angry, he said, "We are shouting too." Zhang Xiangbei immediately called the second guy, who scolded him. "Forcing me, why didn't Xiao Wu call me? Send me the location immediately where you are in Gubei. I will take more than 100 loaders there, unload the people, and dismantle their fresh cabinets and pull them back." The final result of the matter was, of course, that no one had unloaded the food, nor had the fresh keeping cabinet of Daily Fresh unloaded, and the people with the second-hand goods had not arrived yet. The property owner of the community called the police. The police arrived first and invited both parties to the property manager meeting room. The cause of this incident was, of course, the fault of Daily Fresh. The police warned them that competition is okay, but it must be your fault for posting advertisements on other people's cabinets. If this happens again and causes mass incidents, you must take full responsibility. Thank you to the everlasting Emperor Yan, that year Nian ZZZZZ, Big Brother, Civilized Reading, Xiang J, Unlucky Son, Forget the Password and Come Again, The Little Brother Who Eats Fish, Book Friend 20200912113520727, Book Friend 110115233651898, Book Friend 20181130105305305944 Monthly Pass. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 2080. The charity performances and bazaars of Zaixianzhuang attracted a lot of people. In terms of the total number of people watching, it definitely exceeded the party of Daixianxian. Originally, their members of Zaixianzhuang were middle-aged and elderly people. Mainly, for them, the people Wenwen invited are more attractive to them than the traffic stars of Daily Fresh. They are the idols of middle-aged and elderly people, they have liked them since they were young until now. The party also had an unexpected guest from Hong Kong, Fa Ji. Zhang Chen and Wenwen said, "You are so good that even Fa Ji does this to you?" Wenwen said that I did not invite Fa Ji. He found out about this event online and asked his assistant to contact me proactively. The assistant also told me that Fa Ji has actually been donating to Sui Subang. He thinks this is a very meaningful activity. Since Fa Ji was coming, Zhang Xiangbei and the others quickly came up with a plan, which was to ask him to be the auctioneer of this charity sale. With his shiny, waxy slicked back hair and his god of gambling style, he was the auctioneer. The teacher is so suitable. Wenwen told the other party about this plan, and the other party happily accepted the suggestion. The fresh delivery party also attracted the attention of many young people. Their focus was on the charity sale, especially Fa Ji who took the lead in taking photos. Most people don't understand art and can't tell good from bad, but the starting prices for 6 works have been announced online. The starting price for Laoju's Battle of Fai Shui is US $18.25 million. This number shocked everyone. They had never seen an auction with such a high bid before. They couldn't help but wonder, what is this? Will anyone really buy this thing? It was so exciting to witness such a high amount auction on the spot. Everyone quickly came over to watch. Many people prepared to open 2 windows on their computers, watching the live broadcast of Daily Fresh and not letting go of the Zaixian delivery at the same time. Charity sale, or open a window on your computer and mobile phone to watch it at the same time. In recent years, it can be said that everyone is keen on collecting. The TV station's treasure appraisal column is the most popular program. Everyone searches every corner of their home to see if there is anything that looks older. Especially when an elderly person in the family passes away and leaves behind a pile of rags, the pile of rags will be rummaged through very carefully. How many people still dream of spending $200 to buy something on the roadside, send it to a treasure appraisal site, and ask experts with slicked back hair to appraise it? The experts ask them to stand firm first, and then write down a number. Wow! 1 million. Amid the craze of collecting and collecting leaks across the country, the story of Zhang Chen and his Riverside oil painting gallery has been speculated so many times on the internet that it has almost become obsolete. Everyone knows about Riverside oil painting gallery. The collection is already the most valuable in the country. Even the old Beijing man who likes to go on TV and chat with people, his museum cannot compare with it. Many TV stations also came to invite Zhang Chen, hoping that he would appear on TV programs to talk about paintings and collections, but Zhang Chen refused. He felt that there was nothing to say. Everyone listened to and watched this kind of program, but they actually cared about it. The only question is, how much is it worth? You take out a painting and analyze it over and over again. Your mouth is dry when you talk about it. The people listening below are still concerned about how much the painting is worth. The rest of your words sound like nonsense to them. Regarding him and the Riverside oil painting gallery, Zhang Chen's truest statement is that I don't know. I bought these because I liked them at the time and had no intention of collecting them. Just like some people like to buy LV bags and some people like to buy second-hand ones. It's the same as Nike shoes. If you just like them and the money you can afford, then I buy them. But later, I never thought that China's oil painting market would be as hot as today, and the prices would be so high. Now our Riverside oil painting gallery's annual collection is 1/50th of what it was before. No, it's very simple. Today's oil paintings are too expensive and we can't afford them. To tell the truth, these are the truths, but is anyone willing to listen to such truths? Zhang Chen and the others really picked up a huge leak among the pile of paintings they bought from the French. They actually found Picasso, Matisse, Corot, Pissarro, and so on. Regarding this leak, many story versions have been deduced, and some have become thrillers. This charity sale has also attracted many professional collectors. The reason why they pay attention to this charity sale is that the origins of the works in this charity sale are very clear, much clearer than those at the auction. Laoju's Battle of Fai Shui was donated by himself. A reporter went to interview Laoju, and Laoju himself confirmed it. As for Su Lejun's work, Su Lejun himself will bring the work to the stage in person, so there is no doubt about its authenticity. Ziyashu's 2 works, Ziyashu will also bring the works to the stage in person. He is Zhang Xiangbei's uncle. There is no doubt that he supports the charity sale of Xi Fresh Delivery. The 2 works donated by the Riverside Oil Painting Gallery were found to be donated in the name of Xiao Zhao. Xiao Zhao is Zhang Chen's deceased wife, Zhang Xiangbei's mother, and Ziyashu's eldest sister. She went to the Riverside Oil Painting Gallery. Everyone who visits the museum knows that the sister of Ziyashu that you saw right after entering the door is Xiao Zhao. Neither Zhang Chen nor Zhang Xiangbei would joke about this matter. The origin of these two works from the Riverside Oil Painting Gallery is also very clear. In the past few years, the auction market has been a mixed bag. There have been too many unlucky incidents. Some people spent a lot of money to take a picture of a work, but it was later found to be a fake. When this happens, collectors want to cry without tears and file lawsuits. Even if you can't win, you are still afraid of being known. If someone finds out, that would be such an embarrassing thing. It is equivalent to telling everyone that you are a big fool. Someone once photographed a work and sent it to the artist for identification. The artist himself concluded that it was a fake and he had never painted the painting. The buyer was furious and sued the auction company to the court. However, the lawsuit was still lost. After appraisal by domestic authoritative calligraphy and painting experts invited by the auction company, they unanimously determined that this was the artist's original work, and the artist himself did not deny it. Use. Experts also told the judge that it is not unusual for a painter to deny his own work. This happens both at home and abroad. There are several situations where a painter will deny that he painted it. One is that the work was originally given to a friend, but the friend paid a high price for it. During the auction, the painter felt betrayed and angrily denied that he had painted it. There is also a situation where the artist feels that the painting is flawed and does not fully represent his own level, so he simply denies it, and so on. Art appraisal is inherently a matter of public opinion and mother-in-law's opinion. There is no objective standard of evaluation. Even the artist's own statement cannot be regarded as objective. The artist himself can say that the painting was not painted by him, but he did not. The evidence proves that this painting was not painted by him, and the law is all about evidence. In the end, such a lawsuit can only be settled. The most unlucky person is the buyer. If he keeps quiet and holds the proof that the painting was bought at his auction, and meets another unlucky person, he might be able to transfer the thing to someone else. Now that the lawsuit is over, he is famous. Well, the artist himself wrote this work is a forgery on it, making it even more difficult to sell. The entire painting has become the most valuable with the 5 words "this work is a fake" written by the artist himself. This guarantees that it is an authentic work. A charity sale like today where the provenance of each work is so clear is so rare, and for the masses, watching these collectors hiding behind the internet, adding up to 500,000 and 200,000 at a time, it seems that money is not money, it is so beautiful and exciting. The party and the charity sale were interspersed. The actors performed a few shows, and Faji came on stage to start the auction, and buyers bid online. There are 2 large screens on both sides of the stage. When the bidding starts, the number keeps changing, and the host will loudly shout out which bidder quoted the bid. Zhang Chen and the others did not go to the scene. Instead, they sat in the conference room of Zhang Chen and Ben Muishan Group, staring at the screen in front of them. The picture on the screen was Wenwen and Qinqin's live broadcast room, Tan Shuhen and Lu Ligan. Han Emperor Lu Bang and Lin Shuwen, Chu Tianlin and Lao Tan, Wu Ziyawai and Wei Venfang, Lu Yun, Xiao Fang and Zhao Xian, everyone is sitting here. Everyone is holding a mobile phone in their hand. They are spectators, but they are also buyers who have paid deposits. Lu Yun and Xiao Fang also opened the tablets in front of them, ready to place orders at any time. Their overseas customers entrust them to participate in the auction. Your mobile phone needs to be ready to answer their instructions. After the auction of the first work started, a large number of viewers flooded into every anchor's live broadcast room. Wenwen called Zhang Chen and the others and shouted excitedly, "It's a record, it's a record. Every anchor here has a record audience, and the number of fans has also increased significantly. Haha, everyone is smiling crookedly, asking if we can do this kind of event more times." "Were you the first one to crook?" Lu Ligan asked. "What, can't you?" Wenwen snorted. She knew they were watching her live broadcast and said proudly, "Look at the number of fans I have now. Lu Yun smiled and said, I noticed that from the beginning to now, your number of fans has increased by 320,000. You have really made a profit. The first work belonged to Xiaoshu. After repeated bidding, it was finally sold by buyer number 1275 at a price of 12.2 million, which was 4.2 million higher than the starting price of 8 million. Liu Bang, the emperor of the Han dynasty, also participated in the auction of this painting. When the price reached 11.4 million, he wanted to continue bidding for more. Zhang Chen and Tan Shahan both told him to auction rationally. Wu Ziyawei finally grabbed his hand and did not allow him to bid any more. Fa Ji on the stage said in his non-standard Mandarin, the first blow is 12.2 million yuan, the second blow is 12.2 million yuan, 200,000 yuan for the third guess. Deal. Fa Ji finally lowered the auction hammer, smiling at the same time and clapping his hands in a gesture that has been made into an emoticon. On the screen, actors were singing Heavenly Road. Xiao Fang remembered it and shouted, number 1275 seems to be Qian Fang and the others. Zhang Chen immediately called Qian Fang and asked her if number 1275 was them. Did they take the first auction? Qian Fang smiled and said to him, yes, number 1275 is us, but we did not take this painting. Who is it? Zhang Chen asked. Chen Yakan Qian Fang said. Thank you for the reward of 2 fishes. Thank you for your monthly votes from Void Broken Dreams, Dragon, No Future, Only Remember the Original Intention, Agia, and Book Friends 201906091140429778. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 2081. The first work sold at such a high price, the big names in the entertainment industry invited by Wenwen also became excited. They participated in many such large and small activities, but this was the first time they encountered a charity sale. There are activities that sell such high amounts of money. This is the first painting, and one painting almost exceeds the funds raised by the charity gala they participated in before, and the entire gala. This made them feel proud, and they were also overjoyed to see Fa Ji here. Many people would be unconvinced if Fa Ji had a higher status in the entertainment industry than they did. Fa Ji has also participated in the two of them were extremely happy to see Lao Muzi's movie here. But to say it is rare, it is indeed rare. Fa Ji rarely participates in such activities in the mainland. Everyone is a little surprised to see him here. The second work is a work donated by the Riverside Oil Painting Gallery in the name of Xiao Zhao. The author of this work is also a young painter funded by them. Now the market is also bullish. It sold for 5.5 million. The transaction price set a record for his personal works. The third piece, still belonging to Xiaoshu, was auctioned off for 14.5 million yuan. As the filming of each work started, more and more people watched their programs, and the servers of Fanhua Network were almost overwhelmed. Fortunately, they had already registered in advance and started the new servers. The fourth lot was a new work by Su Lejun. Su Lejun took the stage with his work, and the bidding started at 26 million yuan. The second quotation was directly raised to 28 million yuan, and there was a round of applause at the scene. As several buyers kept bidding, the price soon reached 29.4 million. Everyone held their breath and waited for a miracle to happen. When Fa Ji shouted out 30 million, the crowd cheered. The cheers came from the heart, and were not organized by Zhang Xiangbei and the others in advance. The fierce bidding on the stage really aroused the emotions of everyone in the stands. Every anchor's live broadcast room is also full of amazement. This painting by Su Lejun was finally sold for 36.5 million yuan, which also broke the auction record for his personal works. The buyer was not the collectors invited by Su Lejun, but a Chinese in the United States. he entrusted Lu Yun to help him bid. Zhang Chen asked Lu Yun, "What kind of god is this?" Lu Yun smiled and didn't say anything. Zhang Chen didn't ask again, knowing that it was inconvenient to say. By the fifth painting, which was the second painting donated by the Riverside Oil Painting Gallery in Xiao Zhao's name, people inside and outside the venue, and on and off the screen had already been intrigued, because when this painting was announced, the name is unknown and the author's name is also unknown, but the starting price is RMB 32 million. Everyone is curious, whose work is this and is it so valuable? The work was carried on the stage, but it was covered with a red cloth. Fa Ji invited Lao Muzi and another celebrity to work together to unlock the secret. The two of them unveiled the red cloth, and subtitles were also printed on the big screen. It turned out to be the work of Chen Yifei. Chen Yifei has established a foothold in the auction market with his paintings of Chinese ladies from the Ming and Qing dynasties and Zhou Chuang. Now, the market price of his work starts at RMB 50 million. This work is not a painting of ladies and Zhou Chuang in the Ming and Qing dynasties, but a work created by Chen Yifei in his early years, before going to the United States, when he was in the oil painting and sculpture studio of the Shanghai Academy of Fine Arts. The work participated in the National Art Exhibition at that time and won awards. Anyone who knows the art knows that Chen Yifei's early works, such as Ode to the Yellow River and Occupying the Presidential Palace with Wei Jingshan, are more eye-catching and more powerful. In addition, not many of his early works remain, but many they have been collected by national and Shanghai art galleries and museums, and there are not many circulating in the market. This painting can be said to be an early work by Chen Yifei that has rarely appeared in recent years. As soon as the auction for the work started, buyers began to compete fiercely. The sales exceeded 40 million in 5 minutes, and the sales exceeded 50 million in 8 minutes. Even Fa Ji on the stage was dumbfounded and joked, "Should I start grabbing too?" The numbers on the big screen kept changing, and the bidding exceeded 60 million. In the end, it was bought by an anonymous buyer in Shanghai for 65.5 million. Chen Yifei is going back to Shanghai. Fa Ji applauded, then clasped his hands and said, "Thank you Riverside Oil Painting Gallery, thank you Xiao Zhao." There was silence in the conference room for a moment. Xiao Fang burst into tears, Lu Yun and Tan Shuhan quickly comforted her, and Zhang Chen's eyes were also red. In Wenwen and Qinqin's live broadcast room, many people were asking them, "Who is Xiao Zhao? Do you know him?" Wenwen and Qian said they knew each other and told everyone who Xiao Zhao was. The whole internet is talking about Xiao Zhao. No one pays much attention to what program is going on the stage. All the performances have ended, and the big names who have completed their performance tasks are reluctant to leave. They are all sitting on the side of the stage, in the row of chairs specially prepared for them. Everyone is waiting for the last show, which is the auction of the Battle of Fai Shui. The Battle of Fai Shui is too large to be moved to the stage and shown directly to the audience. The only way is to play the images of the Battle of Fai Shui on the big screen, followed by Lao Ju in a video. He introduced the process of creating and exhibiting this work. At the end, Lao Ju also said a very sensational statement. He said, "Although I am in a foreign country, I know that my roots are in China. I am a farmer in China and was raised by the food they grew. I really hope that I can help them, so Mr. Zhang told me this during the event. I decided without hesitation to donate the Battle of Fai Shui. There is nothing more meaningful than helping poor farmers. I'll go. This guy can join the party," Lu Ligan shouted, and everyone laughed. As the shooting of Lao Ju's work started, overseas buyers began to pour in large numbers. After all, Lao Ju is a guy who blossoms inside the walls and is fragrant outside the walls. Foreigners are very fond of his tricks. In China, unless they are peers and people who know him well, not many, like that Cai Kuokiang. It is also expected that Battle of Fai Shui will have many overseas bidders, so the auction of Battle of Fai Shui is priced in US dollars, with a starting bid of 18.25 million US dollars, and the price increase is 10% each time. Thousands of dollars. Su Kioxin walked up to the stage and stood next to Fa Ji as a translator. Every time Fa Ji said a word, Su Kioxin translated it into English. Fa Ji himself said it again in Cantonese. There were also many Hong Kong buyers on the platform. In this way, the whole process has been slowed down, but what does it matter? Everyone is very interested in watching it, and they are all waiting to see who will end up with this work. What they are more concerned about, of course, is the final transaction price. How many? According to Zhang Chen and Zhao Xian's prior agreement, their Riverside oil painting gallery also joined the ranks of bidders, and Zhang Chen also told Zhao Xian that they were bound to win. As soon as the filming started, Zhao Xian was about to enter the scene. Lu Ligan shouted, "No, you have to act like Chen Yejin and only get in halfway." Although Zhao Xian herself was an ex officio guest invited by major auctions and had participated in numerous auctions, large and small, and had sufficient auction experience, she stood still after Lu Ligan said this. There were more than 50 buyers from all over the world competing to bid, and the price exceeded $20 million. When it reached $21 million, more than half of the buyers left the venue. After $23 million, when there were still 4 buyers left from Taiwan, the United States, Japan, and Israel, Lu Ligan said, "Okay, just pay 24 million. Zhao Xian looked at Zhang Chen, who nodded. People in the venue were still fighting for it. Zhao Xian directly quoted a price of $24 million. As expected, everyone was shocked. After fighting for a long time, a new face suddenly came in, and as soon as he came in, the buyers from the United States and Israel suddenly became discouraged and withdrew from the bidding. Now, there are 3 buyers from Japan, Taiwan, and Zhao Xian left in the market. When the price reached $25 million, the Japanese buyers withdrew, leaving only Zhao Xian and the Taiwanese buyer. Zhang Chen's phone rang, and it was Xiaohu. Xiaohu asked, "Mr. Zhang, is it you? The number 0912 is me." Only then did the people in the conference room realize that it was Xiaohu and his group, Fubon Financial Holdings, who were clinging to them. Zhang Xiangbei laughed loudly and said, "The flood has reached the Dragon King Temple." Xiaohu said, "How do you do this, Mr. Zhang? I like this work very much. Give it to me. I'm going to display it in the 101 building." Before Zhang Chen said anything, Lu Bang and Zhang Chen, the great ancestors of the Han dynasty, said, "Little brother, give it to Xiaohu and let him exhibit it in 101. After the educational reform, children in Taiwan now don't even know Chinese history." "All right." Zhang Chen nodded to Zhao Xian, and Zhao Xian died. Xiaohu's Fubon Financial Holdings was sold for US $25.2 million. The Battle of Fai Shui will fly across the strait to Taipei on Xiaohu's official plane. The host announced that tonight's event was over. Everyone in the conference room couldn't help but stand up and applaud warmly. Then everyone went downstairs to the Tuxianjiayuan Hotel. Wenwen would bring those big names. Qian and all the anchors, Xiangnan and Ding Yusong and all the cast and crew came over one after another to have late-night snacks. Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan were at the scene. The two of them sat there and immediately opened Weibo and WeChat to check. They found that the internet was very busy now. Everyone was discussing their charity performance and charity sale today. On the contrary, the Daily Fresh no one mentioned the party. Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan looked at each other and both laughed. They knew that they had won this first battle without a doubt. Zhang Xiangbei's cell phone rang. It was Sun Xiangyang. Zhang Xiangbei picked it up. "Fatty Sun said breathlessly on the phone. They have started to bring in vegetables here." "So early?" Zhang Xiangbei asked, Didn't the delivery start tomorrow? Are they starting to purchase now? It's their first day doing this. If you ask them to come in tomorrow and deliver them tomorrow, why don't they have time? Wu Huan said from the side. Zhang Xiangbei thought it made sense and asked, Fat man, have you ever figured out where these vegetables are shipped from? Nongdu, we all purchase from the Nongdu wholesale market in Xiaoshan, Sun Xiangyang said. Is that correct? Zhang Xiangbei asked. Of course not. I followed them all the way from Haining, and they are still making purchases here, Sun Xiangyang said. Zhang Xiangbei said, yes, I'll come right away. Zhang Xiangbei stood up and said to Wu Huan, please help me tell Xiangnan that I won't go over for late night snacks. I'm going to Nongdu now. Wu Huan said yes. Thank you Win Sanliu for the tip. Thank you Win Sanliu for your monthly ticket. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone.